It's starting to heat up in Atlanta, Georgia. As you take a look at the outside of the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, we welcome you indoors to the home of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships, seen right here on ESPN3. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with former Tar Heel swimmer Warren Perry. And Warren, yesterday we saw a lot of red, as in NC State Wolfpack red.
Yeah, NC State came out swinging. They won 4 out of the first 5 events in the water. Coach Braden Holloway has his Wolfpack ready to go. They're coming out swinging, and they have a chance to take the ACC title back to Raleigh for the first time since 1992.
Warren, as we take a look at the scores right here, what team could possibly challenge the Wolfpack?
So we came in thinking Louisville, based on their coaches' ranking in the dual meet season, would be a contender, but I think it's going to be North Carolina and Virginia Tech. And tonight you're going to see them with close to 80 points in diving that NC State and Louisville do not have.
Moving day, we also put the spotlight on key swimmers. Virginia Tech won the ACC a year ago. Who do you like for the Hokies?
So Robert Owen, the sophomore there from Blacksburg, is seated first in the 400 IM. You're going to see him in the first event, but he is up against defending champion from NC State, Christian McCurdy. It's going to be a great race. Owen also in the B final, the 100 backstroke. So if the Hokies are going to make a move, Robert Owen's going to have a big night.
And the Tar Heels had a great morning. Who needs to deliver for UNC?
So junior Sam Lewis also has 2 swims tonight, and he's seated in the top 3 of both of his event, the 100 backstroke and the 100 butterfly. So if North Carolina's going to make a move, they're going to need to do it on the back of Sam Lewis.
Big night here Friday night, 5 individual events, then the relay. We got this 400-yard IM, the 100-yard fly, 200-yard free, 100-yard breast, 100-yard back, and then the 400-yard medley relay. But we get things started with the men's 400-yard IM, and let's meet the swimmers here in the C final. In lane 2, it's Brendan Casey, a freshman from Virginia. In lane 3, Adam Linker, a sophomore from NC State. Lane 4, a sophomore from Pitt, is Zachary Learley. In lane 5, it's Kyle Dockstader, a junior from Florida State. Martin Vogel, a junior from Pitt, is in lane 6. Tyler Hills, lane 7, he's a senior from North Carolina. Kevin Bradley, a sophomore from Notre Dame, is in lane 8. And Michael Kenny is in lane 9. He's a junior from Georgia Tech. Those are your C final swimmers here as we get things rolling on Friday night, moving day of the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. Dean Linke along with Warren Perry. Second of 3 nights. Love being here, Warren.
Yeah, very exciting night ahead. A number of different events that have different top seeds from each school. Last night we saw NC State that really did a very good job of dominating those events. We're going to see Florida State, we're going to see Virginia Tech, North Carolina, even Notre Dame up there in some of these events. It's going to be an exciting night.
See final, Mr. Referee. You can hear him saying as we get you set at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, built as part of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. Break down the 400-yard IM for our viewers just tuning in.
So 400 IM, individual medley, similar to last night. The 200, we have 4 by 100 of each stroke, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. It's going to be a big event here for NC State. 400 IM, 200 freestyle, their best events tonight. We'll see North Carolina coming back towards the end of the meet, really specializing on the 100 backstroke. If we take the seeds of what these swimmers turned in this morning, NC State has a possible 84 points. Second behind them, North Carolina. Score them as seeded, 64 points, followed by Virginia Tech at 55. So the top 3 schools looking to separate themselves from the rest of the field here in the ACC. Coming in first after 100 butterfly, that's Tyler Hill, North Carolina swimmer, touching at a 50.88. That is about a second faster than Kyle Dockstader from Florida State set this morning. The Florida State junior made his move this morning in the backstroke, splitting about a 57. Look for him to come up here on Tyler Hill.
The backstroke, such a graceful stroke.
Yeah, short, it's a long axis stroke here, the backstroke. Similar to freestyle, rotating their arms underneath the water, recovering up above. There goes Learley here for Pittsburgh. Lane number 4. He split at a 149.8 this morning, a 147.5. Leary actually came in with a 349.6 seated in this event. He added 3 seconds to score a spot here in the C final. If he had held his seed time 3:49, he would have been midway through the B final. So look for Learley there. At the top of your screen, lane number 4, looking very strong in the breaststroke, very smooth, 50 yards to go. About a body length lead over Hill there in lane number 7, followed by Kevin Bradley from Notre Dame in lane 8. Learley looking very strong there in the short axis stroke of breaststroke, getting high above the water, extending his body down in there. Strong kick allows his arms to recover above the water. As we see Learley continue to extend his lead. Now Kevin Bradley from Notre Dame moving up into the second spot over Tyler Hill from North Carolina. 100 yards to go, entering in the freestyle leg. Learley 252.54. 4 seconds ahead of what he was at this morning.
Zachary Learley, the sophomore from Pitt, with a slim lead now on Kevin Bradley, the sophomore from Notre Dame. Lane 4 and lane 8. Learley lane 4, lane 8 is Bradley. And right now they are neck and neck.
Well, Bradley came back pretty strong this morning, split at about a 53, while it was Learley there at about a 54, 55. So Bradley came back stronger this morning. We'll see if he's got enough to finish it off tonight.
And Bradley does have a pretty good finish here. It looks to be Bradley in lane 8. It'll be Learley in lane 4. And then coming in third, it's going to be tight, but Tyler Hill's got just enough to finish third. Tyler Hill, the senior from North Carolina.
346.5. There, Kevin Bradley from Notre Dame in lane number 8. If he had done that this morning, he would have gotten in the A final.
Wow.
Impressive there, about a 7-second drop from his time from this morning.
Well done. As you take a look at the scores, finishing in first, Kevin Bradley from Notre Dame. In second, Zachary Learley from Pitt. And in third, from North Carolina, it's Tyler Hill. So an impressive start for Kevin Bradley. As we get you set now here for the B final of the men's 400-yard IM. Let's meet the swimmers. Lane 2 is John Nappy. He's a senior from Notre Dame. Lane 3, Matthew O'Donnell, sophomore, NC State. Lane 4, Carlos Claveri, a freshman from Louisville. Lane 5, Brian Bollerman, a senior from North Carolina. It's Austin Quinn in lane 6. He's a sophomore from Virginia. The Tar Heels have Patrick Myers in lane 7. He's a senior. Austin Snyder, a junior from NC State, in lane 8. And Notre Dame senior Matthew de Blasio in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for Heat 2, the B final, men's 400-yard IM.
So swimmers to watch for here, University of North Carolina's Brian Bollerman dropped 9 seconds this morning to take the top spot in the B final. Just about 2.5 seconds separating this field, as you see there.
Take your mark.
B final underway, men's 400-yard IM.
To dive in for the butterfly leg, Austin Quinn, sophomore from Virginia there in lane number 6, had the fastest pace this morning. 50.90, what he set the field at. Jumps in immediately, extends to about a half a body length lead over Bollerman there in lane number 5. Strong turn, getting underneath the water. Solid butterfly kicks as they pop up. There's Austin Quinn looking very strong, breathing every stroke, conserving his oxygen as he gets through the 16 links, 4 of each stroke. Bollerman taking a few more strokes each length over Quinn. Quinn very efficient there in his butterfly, 50.95. There's 5 100ths off of what he set the pace at this morning. Look for him to continue to extend his lead in the backstroke. Split a 56.7. Bolerman there very strong in the second half, trying not to let Quinn get too far ahead.
Quinn's got a solid lead, though. Lane 6, the sophomore from University of Virginia. Close at second. In lane 7 is Patrick Myers, the senior from North Carolina. And then in lane 5, it's Brian Bolerman, the senior from North Carolina as well.
North Carolina flanking Quinn there, coming up to about the halfway point. We see Myers taking a little bit of a lead. Also watch Austin Snyder there. Anytime you got an NC State swimmer in these heats, you got to watch for big drops. Lots of energy.
Quinn with a big lead, though.
About 2 body lengths lead. Again, he set the pace this morning. His best strokes here are butterfly and backstroke. And look for Bolerman to start reeling him in the breaststroke and the freestyle. Bolerman splitting a 1:02 this morning. Don't know if we let Quinn get too far ahead here, though, in the first 200, if he's going to be able to catch him. There you see Austin Quinn looking very strong there.
Yeah, 2 body lengths still for Quinn, with Myers and Bolerman from North Carolina on either side of Quinn, challenging him. Pretty good push now, though, from Austin Snyder from NC State in lane 8.
So as we see Bolerman there continuing to reel him in. Can he get close enough to strike with 100 freestyle to go? We know that Austin Quinn has endurance. He finished 8th in the 500 freestyle last night.
Keep an eye as well on Carlos Clobbery, the freshman from Louisville. He's in lane 4. And he is now a part of this equation.
The Louisville swimmer there split about a 57 this morning coming back. Brian Bolerman, 56. Austin Quinn continuing to try and hold on, about a 1 body length lead over North Carolina and Louisville.
Brian Bolerman, though, right at his feet. Look at the push again here for Clobbery, the freshman from Louisville.
Both Quinn and Clobbery added time this morning. Are they going to get back under their best?
Quinn is going to cruise now. And he will finish in first. Second looks like the Louisville freshman. It is Clobbery. And then in third, it's Brian Bolerman from UNC. So how about the young freshman from Louisville with a great push in the final 4 laps, Warren?
Very strong there. He looked consistent all the way through that breaststroke. We didn't see him sneaking up there until the last 100 freestyle. But here we see Quinn continuing to look very strong, breathing to his right, so he doesn't know what's going on there to his left, but he sustained enough of a lead there against Bolerman and Clobbery. And they go stroke for stroke, but Clobbery with that little bit of a length extending ahead of Bolerman, and there we are, Austin Quinn winning the B final of the 400 IM.
Well done, Austin Quinn, sophomore from the University of Virginia, winning it. Louisville getting some key points here, though, in the B final. And then Brian Bolerman from UNC.
Interesting to note there, Kevin Bradley, the C final, turned in a very fast time, 3:46.52. Would have won that heat as well.
Hey, the music's blaring here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. That means it's the A final. And let's take a look at the lane assignments for the men's 400-yard IM, going for the gold, silver, and bronze. Lane 2 is Zach Switzer, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, 3-time state champion. In lane 3, it's Anton Erskov-Ibsen, the freshman from North Carolina State, 10th fastest time in the ACC this season. In lane 4, Nolan Tessone, a junior from Louisville. He was second in the 2014 American Conference Championships. In lane 5, the swimmer that Warren Perry put the spotlight on, it's Robert Owen, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, the 7th fastest time in the ACC this season. It's Owen, lane 5 for Virginia Tech. Christian McCurdy, the junior from NC State, will challenge Owen. McCurdy is a 2014 ACC champion. Lane 7 is Michael Miller, a sophomore from Duke. In lane 8, it's Henry Campbell, a freshman from North Carolina. And in lane 9, it's Tom Anderson, a sophomore from Notre Dame, the school record holder in the 400 IM.
And there we see Christian McCurdy, lane number 6, junior from Raleigh. He finished 4th in the 200 IM last night, looking to defend his title in the 400 this evening. He looked very strong out in the butterfly. held on through the breaststroke, and just less than a second separates him and Owen for the top spot in the IM. Owen dropping 9 seconds from 3:52 down to 3:43 to take the top spot this evening. McCurdy 8 seconds from his seed time. We'll see how much more these guys have in them.
The swimmers are set here for the men's 400-yard IM, the A final.
Take your mark.
As we saw, just about 5 seconds separate this field, 3:43 up to 3:48. Christian McCurdy, defending champion, 3:43.61 last year, Virginia Tech. Hoping Robert Owen can break through. They have never won this event at the ACC Championships. As we talked about, Christian McCurdy set the pace this morning. But Tassone there from Louisville, the junior, heading out at a 23.5.
Tassone's in lane 4, McCurdy in lane 6.
McCurdy very strong there underwater, really only has 6 or 7 strokes, each 25 to get to the wall. Very efficient there in his butterfly, 50.90. About 5/10 back from his pace this morning, but he quickly jumps out to that body length lead over Owen and Tassone.
McCurdy comfortable now on the turn here on the backstroke. It does look like now pushing up on McCurdy though is Owen. He's in second, and third looks to be Tassone. But starting to get challenged here in lane 8, Henry Campbell, a freshman from North Carolina.
Robert Owen looked very good this morning in the backstrokes, but the fastest backstroke leg at just about a 56.
Owen has made up some time on this stroke.
Comes right back, and as we saw, it's going to be back and forth there. How far can McCurdy extend his lead? How much can Owen reel him in?
They're tight now, Warren.
They touched just about a second and a half apart this morning in different heats, but now they're at a 1:46.1.
Owen's in first. He was.
It's about half a second ahead from the quickest pace this morning. Look for McCurdy to start extending his lead a little bit. McCurdy looking very strong, not panicky at all from his pullout. Long lengths, very efficient. They're about stroke for stroke, Owen and McCurdy.
McCurdy with a slim lead over Owen in lane 6. It's Owen in lane 5, and then Tassone, the junior from Louisville, in lane 4. That's your 1, 2, 3 at the moment.
And spectators, you can see that butterfly kick underwater as they come off the wall. Extend out there, use the momentum. The second fastest part of your swim, that turn. Very interesting that McCurdy has not extended his lead anymore. Owen had the fastest freestyle split coming back this morning at a 52.6, compared with McCurdy's 53.8. It is going to be a close race here, the last 75 yards. Owen popping up first, looks like he may have just a little more energy. They are looking at each other as they come down here.
They are, McCurdy and Owen, stroke for stroke. They turn together, and out of the water first was Owen.
Owen's looking very strong. We mentioned how much time he dropped this morning and wondered whether or not he had any more left in him. He's looking really good as he comes in, and McCurdy going to try and defend his title. He's got to do something right now, and that turn may have done it. McCurdy looking very strong off that wall.
Yeah, great push by McCurdy. Down to the wire, McCurdy. Owen, it's Owen first, McCurdy second, and Tassone third. And how about Robert Owen, the sophomore from Virginia Tech? Warren Perry, you know how to pick the swimmers.
13/100s, 341.79. We saw him put that last stroke down. McCurdy did everything he could the last 25 yards, from the strong butterfly kicks off the last freestyle turn all the way into the wall. I actually thought he may have caught him, but Robert Owen holding on there, looking very strong and proving myself right. I was glad to call him here at the beginning of the evening.
The final flip here on the turn on the freestyle. We thought maybe McCurdy was going to be able to get there, and he almost did.
So look at how much Owen had, just about 3/4 of a second ahead, but look at how long McCurdy stays underwater, those strong butterfly kicks, he pops up, and his rotation speed is faster than Owen. Looks like he had a little bit more energy left there, but that last extension, the windmill stroke for Owen, down, digging deep, touching underneath the water, just out touching defending champion McCurdy, unseating NC State by 13/100ths of a second.
What a great race here in the 400-yard IM. So close, 0.79 over 0.92. You see Robert Owen. You said that was going to be a great race, Warren. Well done. And then Nolan Tessone from Louisville giving the Cardinal some points as well. Outstanding start here. When we come back, we'll have the 100-yard butterfly. A great finish by Robert Owen, the 2015 ACC Swimming Championships on ESPN 3. Welcome back inside the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center, home to the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. A great start here on Friday night. Moving day. We think the Virginia Tech Hokies could make a run at NC State, and they get a great result from Robert Owen, the sophomore from Virginia Tech, as we hand out some hardware here. Finishing in third, Nolan Tessone, the junior from Louisville, being presented by Mitch Moser, the vice chair of the ACC Swimming and Diving Committee. That's Tessone taking home the bronze. In second, Christian McCurdy from NC State, as he gives a high five to Tessone, but getting ready to get the gold, Robert Owen.
The sophomore from Virginia Tech giving his school their very first 400 IM title here in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He did it in a very exciting fashion, 13/100ths of a second. The sportsmanship there between these three schools. Lots of respect between the programs.
Robert Owen, your ACC champ. You deserve that smile, young man. Well done. And the Hokie faithful, they love it. A nice start for Virginia Tech. We mentioned on Thursday night we were seeing all kinds of red from the NC State Wolfpack, but the Virginia Tech Hokies changed that here. The A final finish by Robert Owen in the men's 400-yard IM. 5 individual events tonight, as well as the relay. Coming up next is the 100-yard butterfly. And we'll set the lane assignments here for the C final of the men's 100-yard butterfly. As you can see, the swimmers getting in position in lane 2. It's Yusuf Hamoud, a junior from Georgia Tech. Another Georgia Tech swimmer's in lane 3, sophomore Ben Southern. David Armstrong, a junior from Duke, is in lane 4. Dominic Glavich, junior from North Carolina, lane 5. It's Jonathan Williamson, a senior from Notre Dame, in lane 6. Freshman from Virginia Tech, Harrison Pierce, is in lane 7. It's Bojack Ihan, a junior from Notre Dame, in lane 8. And then Cole Hensley, a junior from Florida State, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for the C final of our second event here on Friday night, the men's 100-yard butterfly.
A big event here for the University of North Carolina. They've got 5 swimmers. They score it out here as they're seated, 84 points. Louisville, 4 swimmers in these top 24, and NC State with 3. Just about half a second separates the field here in this C final. Biggest drop, freshman for Virginia Tech, 2.5 seconds. Pierce Harrison to get in at a 47.82.
Quickly tell you a message from John Swafford telling us that the ACC has long stood for excellence in the pool and in the classroom. That commitment was demonstrated last year when 441 swimmers and divers were named to the ACC Academic Honor Roll, having earned a 3.0 GPA. Warren, I'm sure you were one of those when you were in school.
UNC Chapel Hill, great reputation for academics. I was proud to be there and worked as hard as I could.
Swimmers set for the C final, men's 100-yard butterfly.
Watch for Harrison Pierce there from Virginia Tech. Had the quickest time this morning at the 50, 21.9. Again, we mentioned he dropped a little over 2 seconds. there in lane number 7, but it looks like lane number 4, David Armstrong from Duke, along with Yusuf Hammond, 21.84, lane 2, and lane 4.
Here we go.
Hammond looking very strong there, 25 to go.
Hammond's in lane 2. It's Hamoud, rather, in lane 2, but in lane 6, coming forward now, Jonathan Williamson. The finish, though, is Hamoud. He held it from lane 2. Georgia Tech's Hamoud finishing in first. Williamson from Notre Dame in second, and Ben Southern from Georgia Tech in third. So a nice start for our host, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
47.41, just about 8/10 drop from this morning. He went out very strong and held on nicely, as you said.
See the results. Lane 2, Yusuf Hamoud finishing in first. Lane 6, Williamson from Notre Dame, and then it's Ben Southern, also from Georgia Tech, finishing in third there in lane 3. Let's get you set now for the B final, the men's 100-yard butterfly, with your lane assignments. In lane 2, it's David Boland, a sophomore from Louisville. Jason Deanna, a junior from North Carolina State, lane 3. Karusha Hani, a senior from Pitt, lane 4. John Newell, a senior from NC State's in lane 5. Nick Lowe, a senior from North Carolina, lane 6. A senior from Virginia Tech, Morgan Latimer's in lane 7. It's Nico Van Duyn, a senior from Georgia Tech, in lane 8. And then it's Justin Plashka, a freshman from Notre Dame. He is in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for the B final here. The men's 100-yard butterfly, Friday night at the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. And boy, I tell you, look at the crowd. What a great shot by our crew here, John Wilkerson and Scott Hicken and everybody. You know, Saturday night it's going to be even more crowded. Great atmosphere as we crown a champion.
Yeah, ACC fans are very loyal. Got a lot of alumni here to support their schools, whether they're in the Atlanta metro area or from further abroad. Whether they're watching at home or here, we know that they're loyal fans. They've swam for these ACC schools throughout the generations. Always good to be a part of these swimming programs. Here, 0.7 seconds separate the field. Watch for Nick Lowe as well as Jason Deanna. NC State, North Carolina went out very fast. But touching first, 21.6 from Pittsburgh. Ahani there setting the pace. Here comes the rest of the field. 3 and 5 looked like they had just a little bit of an edge. The NC State swimmers, Newell and Deanna.
This is so tight. Pretty much all 8 swimmers turning together. And down the finish, it looks like lane 4. Yeah, lane 5, John Newell. Lane 4, Karusha Hani from Pitt. So the Wolfpack with a first place finish. And then Nico Van Duyn from Georgia Tech finishing in third. But the Wolfpack, the first place finish here in the B final.
John Newell, very good time, 46.67. That's about 2/10 quicker than he went this morning. A good way for the senior there for Raleigh to finish his career with the 100 fly here at the ACCs.
Those are the results. Newell in first, Karusha Hani from Pitt in second, and another good finish by the Yellow Jackets here, representing a little bit on Friday night, finishing in third. Crank up the music as we get you set for the A final, the men's 100-yard butterfly. A year ago, it was the ACC most valuable swimmer, Pavel Sankovic, lighting it up with a 45 flat. And the swimmers get out. Let's take a look at the lane assignments for the 100-yard butterfly. In lane 2 is Josh Quallen, a sophomore from Louisville, second at the American Conference Championships. Lane 3, it's Soren Dahl from NC State. He's a sophomore, part of that Great Dane program from Denmark. In lane 4, it's Andrew Kosick, a senior from Georgia Tech, 2014 All-American. Lane 5, Sam Lewis. Warren Perry talked about the junior from North Carolina. He's second in program history in this event. Lane 6 is Connor Knight, a senior from Florida State, third fastest time in the ACC this season. Lane 7, Ben Conley, a junior from University of North Carolina. That's Ben Colley, a junior from North Carolina, ranks in the top 10 of 3 different events in Carolina history. Lane 8, Aaron Young, a senior from Louisville. And in lane 9, it's Pedro Coutinho, a junior from Louisville. and he was first in the American Conference champ. Coutinho is from Brazil. Those are your lane assignments. A final, men's 100-yard fly.
So there's Sam Lewis, the junior from North Carolina. We talked about him at the top of the broadcast. He is actually from Alpharetta, Georgia, so a hometown favorite. Just dropped 1.1 seconds from his seed time, 45.93, about 2/10 ahead of the second seed, Connor Knight from Florida State. North Carolina's Sam Lewis trying to return the title at Chapel Hill for the first time since 2010, and Tommy Wire won this event.
So Pedro Coutinho, couple of Louisville Cardinals flanking 8 and 9, another Cardinal in lane 2. But in the middle, it's Sam Lewis, lane 5 with Connor Knight, lane 6 from Florida State, and then Andrew Kosick from Georgia Tech. This is a good event for Georgia Tech.
Take your mark.
We talk about North Carolina's big events tonight. It is this one and the 100 backstroke that they've got to do some damage if they're going to get back up towards NC State's lead. Louisville also with 3 swimmers in here. Trying to make a statement there. Connor Knight actually set the pace this morning, 21-point flat. He does the same this evening, 21.24. Just ahead of Andrew Kosick there, Georgia Tech. Sam Lewis did come home the strongest this morning, splitting into 24.6. We'll see if he can overcome the lead that Knight has built.
Knight stays underwater such a long time. And it's Knight with the lead, and lane 9 actually as well, coming in, lane 9, well called. Pedro Coutinho, the Brazilian, coming out of nowhere to win the A final here of the 100 fly. Connor Knight in second, and Sam Lewis from North Carolina. And hang on, folks, look out for Louisville. Check out the Louisville Cardinals, well done by the Brazilian.
So Coutinho there coming home very strong, 24.43. There we see Lewis as well as Kosick and Knight. That last turn getting under the water, strong butterfly kicks to build the momentum back on. But let's look at the finish here. You see at the bottom of your screen, Pedro Coutinho, Louisville swimmer, 45.92, surprising the entire field. The outside smoke there for the Cardinals.
It was indeed outside smoke, because we were focused in on Sam Lewis, Andrew Kosick, and Connor Knight, and out of nowhere with the flip and the finish. In the final 25, Pedro Coutinho able to win it for Louisville. How much time did he shave?
45.92 down from 46.77. He was seated at a 46.46 coming into this meet.
Well done. We come back, we'll have the 200-yard freestyle finals right here as part of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming Championships. 2 events in the books here as part of the 2015 ACC Swimming and Diving Championships here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And our second awards ceremony getting ready to take place, presenting the bronze, silver, and gold for the 100 fly is Steve Gregg, a former NC State star, 200 fly silver medalist at the 76 Olympics, and 2-time silver medalist at the 73 and 78 World Championships. In third place, the junior from North Carolina, Sam Lewis. He'll take home the bronze. In second, it's Connor Knight, a senior from Florida State University. And Warren, I'll let you talk a little bit more about Pedro Coutinho. The smoke on the outside lane, lane 9, with the gold medal.
Well, it's really good there for Louisville. 4 swimmers tonight for the Cardinals, and Pedro Coutinho, as we said, someone we weren't looking at the beginning, but came out, had a very good few turns, 45.9, sneaking up on Knight and Lewis.
He'll get his gold medal from Steve Gregg, super swimmer from North Carolina State. The Cardinals, Pedro Coutinho with a 45.92. He's the ACC champ.
Interesting to see the first 2 events tonight. We've seen a Louisville swimmer win as well as a Virginia Tech swimmer. Just demonstrates a little bit of the depth and diversity of the ACC. NC State going to get a challenge tonight. We'll see what the rest of the evening holds.
Well said, Warren Perry. As we get you set for the next event, the men's 200-yard freestyle here on Friday night. Up first, the C final. Let's set the lane assignments for the C final, the men's 200-yard free. In lane 2, Luke Georgiadis, a freshman from Virginia. In lane 3, it's Bradley Klein, a sophomore from Duke. In lane 4, Lucas Pop, a sophomore from North Carolina. It's another Tar Heel, a freshman in lane 5. It's Philip Purdue. Avery Warrington, a junior from Pitt, is in lane 6. Florida State senior Kevin Rogers in lane 7. It's Josh Beal, sophomore from North Carolina, in lane 8. And then Nicholas Hens from Boston College. There's Boston College with a swimmer here in the C final in lane 9.
You see just about half a second separates this field from Philip Purdue down to Grigory Tisavich from Louisville. Looking very strong in this field. We'll look for Kevin Rogers from Florida State to set the pace, 45.94 this morning. North Carolina, 3 swimmers here. Have to be a little disappointed to not get one of those up into the B or the A final. They've got 4 swimmers in this event. NC State looking strong with 3 swimmers we'll see in the A final. Louisville with 4, 1 here in the C final. Virginia Tech have a strong showing in this event as well. 4 swimmers we'll see throughout these heats.
The ACC meet record was set by Scott Robinson from Virginia back in 2010 with a 1:32.45. C final, men's 200-yard freestyle here from the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center.
Take your mark.
Clean start there, 200 freestyle, one of those events where the sprinters try and hold on, the distance swimmers try and gain some speed. There's a crowded event where a lot of people enter. Right at the outset, seeing a little bit of separation here. Again, Kevin Rogers from Florida State set the pace 21.8 this morning. He does the same 22.0 this evening. Rogers looking very strong, very quick strokes. Exerting a lot of energy there between the flags, but breathing every stroke. He is going after it. They've got a body length lead over Philip Purdue there in lane number 5, as well as Hens and Boston College in lane 9.
Yep, Rogers, lane 7, leads it for Florida State. Then Hens in 3rd is Philip Purdue for UNC, lane 5.
So watch for the Tar Heels to come on strong. The second half was dominated by Purdue and Pop. Avery Warrington, Pittsburgh swimmer, also had a strong last 50. See if they can reel in Rogers from lane number 7. About a body length lead still over Purdue in lane 5.
It's Rogers and then 7 swimmers that are pretty tight behind Rogers. Still in second now, though, is Purdue. In 3rd is Hens, lane 9 for Boston College, Purdue from UNC. But right now it's Rogers, the senior from Florida State, with a fairly comfortable lead.
Rogers came in, seated 137.
And Rogers will win the C final. Finishing in 2nd is Avery Harrington from Pitt, and then in 3rd, Philip Purdue, as Nicholas Hens faded there down the stretch. But congratulations to Florida State's Kevin Rogers.
Rogers looking strong. Again, he looked like he died some this morning. Very strong in the front half, but he does a great job getting home. 136.81 as compared to 137.89. A good 1 second off in this evening swim, getting the Florida State Seminoles on the board.
You mentioned the Tar Heels. They finish in 3 and 4 here in the C final, the men's 200-yard freestyle. And the Noles fans, they like it. Good finish there from Florida State's Kevin Rogers, lane 7 with the best time in the C final. Let's take a look now at the lane assignments for the B final of the men's 200-yard freestyle. In lane 2 is Anthony Lyons. He's a freshman from Florida State University. It's Anthony Lyons in lane 2. Lane 3, William DeForest, junior from North Carolina. Lane 4, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, is Adam Stacklin. It's a junior from Pitt. In lane 5, David Sweeney. Trent Jackson, a sophomore from Notre Dame, is in lane 6. Michael Zuba, a junior from Virginia Tech, lane 7. It's a sophomore from Notre Dame, Reed Fujan, in lane 8. And then it's Noah Haraz, a freshman from Georgia Tech, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers, Warren Perry, for the B final of the men's 200-yard freestyle.
It's about 1.2 seconds separates this field. David Sweeney, the junior there in the middle of your pool, Pittsburgh swimmer, went out very strong, 46.15. setting the pace, holding on, but Trent Jackson, Stacklin, and Zuba came on strong, closing the gap. Just about 2/10 separate the top 4 swimmers.
Take your mark.
Swimmers in the water for the B final, the men's 200-yard free.
Sweeney pops up immediately, takes a slight lead over the rest of the field. First to the first turn. Very smooth. Lane number 9 looking strong too, Tex Haraz. But it is David Sweeney, 22.16. Just about 7/10 of a second faster than he went this morning. Here comes Trent Jackson there, Notre Dame. Lane number 6, just a little bit of a lead there. Most of these swimmers breathing every stroke, trying to get as much oxygen through their body as they can. In that metabolic system there, they've got to retain as much energy and blood flow to not build up any lactic acid the last 50 yards. Jackson still looking very strong as he's breathing to his right there, extending to about a body length lead over Sweeney. There you see Notre Dame swimmer Trent Jackson. He came home very strong, 25.13 this morning.
Trent Jackson, Notre Dame with the lead. Noah Haraz from Georgia Tech in second, and David Sweeney, lane 5 from Pitt in third.
Is Jackson going to fade here? Sweeney's trying to make a little bit of a move there. Sweeney can see Jackson, but Jackson's breathing to his right.
Lane 6. It is Jackson finishing in first. Sweeney, you're right, Warren, so close from Pitt, finishing in second, and in third, Noah Haraz from Georgia Tech.
There we see Sweeney, or there we see Trent Jackson, the sophomore, for South Bend. 136.24. It's about 0.3 of a second faster than he did this morning. Again, just about a second and a half, almost 2 seconds separating this field, just like this morning. Jackson, Sweeney, Haraz, from different schools we've been talking about, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. We see again the diversity here in the ACC. Virginia Tech's 2 swimmers, North Carolina 1 there. We know the top 24 score. Every point counts here for any of those swimming teams who want to get involved in moving day, as you say, Dean.
Take a look at the Florida State swimming team as they crank it up for the championship finalists, the A final, the men's 200-yard freestyle. That's Lucas Bureau leading the pack. Following him is Matthias Lindenbauer. Of course, Simonis Billis and Ryan Held. Simonis Billis is a swimmer to keep an eye on for the ACC most valuable swimmer. Let's look at the lane assignments. Lane 2, Lucas Bureau, a junior from Virginia Tech. He's a school record holder in this event. Lane 3, Matthias Lindenbauer, a sophomore from Louisville. He's from Germany. In lane 4, Trevor Carroll, also from Louisville. Fastest time in the ACC this season, Carroll, lane 4. Lane 5, Ryan Held from NC State, the 2014 Illinois Swimmer of the Year. He's a freshman. Lane 6, Simonis Billis, the junior from NC State. He's a 5-time ACC champion, all in relays. Lane 7 is Owen Burns, a senior from Virginia Tech. 7th fastest time in the ACC this season. Lane 8, David Williams, senior from North Carolina State, 7-time All-American in relays. And in lane 9, it's Rudy Edelin, a senior from Louisville. And Edelin from Bowling Green, Kentucky, top career time of 1:36.19 in the prelim.
So there is Ryan Held there, your top seed in this event. Freshman from NC State, dropped 5 seconds, 1:33.75 this morning. One of those fast 200 freestylers for NC State. The top 2 seeds, Ryan Held, Simonis Billis. NC State also the champion of the 800 freestyle relay. They've got 3 swimmers here in the top heat, very strong in that event, so we do expect NC State to do great things here. Possibly a 1-2. They are just about a second ahead of the 3rd spot, Trevor Carroll there for Louisville.
So Rudy Edelin from Louisville, the senior from Bowling Green, Kentucky, in lane 9. Virginia Tech. presented by Owen Burns. Into the water they go, the A final, the men's 200-yard free.
So NC State's big day was yesterday. We talked to Braden Holloway about today. Wasn't one of their strongest days, but this event should be the highlight of their night. Christian McCurdy, second place in the 400 IM. We'll see if Held and Billis can actually bring home a title in this session.
Held in lane 5, Billis in lane 6. The freshman and junior for NC State respectively, and it's Billis with a lead.
Splitting 21.41, just 900ths ahead of his teammate there in lane number 5. Billis looking very strong, very smooth. Taking less strokes actually than the rest of his field, looking very efficient, coming in, breathing every stroke to his left. But it's going to be Ryan Held flipping first, 45.57, 200ths of a second ahead. Only 700 separate first through third right now. Billis looking like he's taking charge there, adding his legs, looking very strong, extending to just about a half a body length lead there. And we see Billis breathing to his left. Virginia Tech's Burns breathing to his right. They will not see each other on the way down. Freshman Held trying to do something here, the last 50 yards. Simonis Billis, we saw him win the 50 last night. Can he win the 200 as well? He's trying to hold on.
Billis
just a little bit.
Is there though. It's Billis in first, Held in second, a Wolfpack double, and then in third, David Williams. So NC State with the triple, and the Wolfpack fans love it. You said it, Warren Perry, this was their event tonight, and it's red, red, and red.
So they came in with just 3 swimmers in this event, and they did as best as they could, taking the top 3 spots. We will see a podium finish here that's going to be all NC State red.
Well, you can't ask for much better than that if you're an NC State swimming fan.
And here we see there Simonis Billis and Ryan Held. Billis there in the middle of your screen, breathing there, facing Held. Extends his head down, one final stroke. 1, 2, 3. And there you see the NC State crew continuing to have so much energy at these conference championships. Definitely something to cheer about this evening.
And how about David Williams sneaking in there to get third, as we saw in lane 7 rather, Owen Burns from Virginia Tech. He was so close, he finished 4th. And it looked like Owen Burns actually was against the ropes there on one of the laps, and that slowed him down just a little bit, Warren.
So oftentimes the strategy there for swimmers is to get up against the ropes, to ride the waves a little bit, draft some off of the wake, but it didn't work this time for Owen Burns. And in the 200, it's kind of a risky thing to do. Most people do that in longer distance. If he was doing it on purpose, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. David Williams gets in there for that 3rd spot. Those 3 swimmers were part of the 800 freestyle relay. They did great things Wednesday night, doing great things again tonight.
We come back, we'll have the 100-yard breaststroke. We'll also hand out a bronze, silver, and gold to the NC State swimmers as they swept the 200-yard free. The 1996 Summer Olympic Games held right here in Atlanta, and that's one of the reasons they built this beautiful facility, the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. We're glad they did. It's been wonderful hosts for the past 2 weeks. First for the Women ACC Swimming Championships, and now the men. Let's go over to the awards ceremonies where the Wolfpack Nation making lots of noise. Wendy Myers, the vice chair of the ACC Swimming and Diving Committee from Pitt, handing out the hardware to not 1, not 2, but 3 NC State swimmers as they were dominant in the 200-yard free.
The top position in each event gets 32 points, 28, 27 respectively for 2nd and 3rd. A possible 87 points here, and NC State 3 out of 3 swimmers getting on the podium as good as it can get there for NC State in this event.
Seeing red here again tonight. Simonis Billis, as you look at the Wolfpack faithful, he could be in contention for the ACC Most Valuable Swimmer. It was about this time where Florida State's Pavel Stankovic was catching our eye last year as well. Well done, North Carolina State, sweeping the men's 200-yard freestyle. Next on the schedule, the men's 100-yard breaststroke. 5 individual events plus the 400-yard medley relay here tonight on Friday night, moving day of the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. Here's your lane assignments for the C final of the 100-yard breaststroke. Lane 2, Andrew Stranick, senior from Boston College, Lane 3, Connor O'Prey, a junior from Pitt. CJ Fiala, a senior from Virginia Tech in lane 4. Carlos Laveri, a freshman from Louisville in lane 5. It's David Spees in lane 6. He's a senior from North Carolina. Georgia Tech senior Mark Sarmons in lane 7. It's Luke Nosbish, a senior from Pitt in lane 8. And then Patrick Olson, a senior from Notre Dame, lane 9. Those are your swimmers. C final, men's 100-yard breaststroke.
We go from NC State's best event of the evening to possibly one of their not so best. 2 swimmers throughout these heats for the Wolfpack. Louisville will see represented 5 times, North Carolina 3. Virginia Tech 3 swimmers in these championship heats as well.
We'll get you updated on the scores right now. NC State with 726 points. They're in first place. Virginia Tech with 605, UNC 602. And then Louisville, Notre Dame in 5th, 361. Florida State in 6th, 332. Georgia Tech with 319. So NC State, after that last event, building that lead.
We talked about earlier, if anybody's going to make a move, it will be Virginia Tech and North Carolina. Just how much do they have to chip into that big 120-point lead that NC State's building?
$400-yard IM, 100-yard fly, 200-yard free in the books. As we get you set here now for the C final of the 100-yard breaststroke. We'll have the 100-yard back, take a break, and then have the 400-yard medley relay. Here we go. C final, men's 100-yard breaststroke.
Take your mark.
Short axis stroke here. Big sweeps of the arms, getting high up above the water, breathing each stroke. Getting those hips up. Strong kick. Driving themselves forward here. We look for CJ Fiala. Virginia Tech set the pace this morning, 25.26. There in lane number 4. But it's Connor O'Prey, 25.15 for Pittsburgh. 2 tenths ahead of Fiala. Just about what the pace was this morning. The rest of the field catching up. Touching first as they turn for home. Louisville's Carlos Laveri. A slight lead. But lane number 7, Mark Sarmon for Georgia Tech making a push as well.
So close here at the finish. Finishing in first, though, it's Laveri from Louisville. Mark Sarmon from Georgia Tech in 2nd, and then Patrick Olson, Notre Dame in 3rd.
53.96 there in the middle of the pool. Dropping about 3 tenths to get under 54. Laveri we saw earlier this evening. 2nd swim of the night for him. Continuing to cut time. Cardinals getting on the board there. Followed by the Yellow Jackets and Notre Dame.
Now let's meet the swimmers for the B final of the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Swimmers getting set. In lane 2, it's Todd Owen, a freshman from Louisville. Lane 3, Dominic Glavich, a junior from North Carolina. Lane 4, Zachary Stevens, senior Notre Dame. It's Harrison Cephalo, a senior Virginia Tech, lane 5. Ricky Leonard, a junior from Georgia Tech, in lane 6. Cameron Miller, 7. Lane 7 is a senior from Notre Dame. In lane 8, it's Ben Kono, a freshman from North Carolina State. And then Dylan Payne, a sophomore from Duke, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for the B final. It's part of the men's 100-yard breaststroke here, 2015 ACC Men's Swimming Championships.
Interesting to note here, the 2014 defending champion in this event, Zachary Stevens, seated a 52.54, added over a second in the swim this morning, the senior out of South Bend, to place in the B final. See what he can do this evening. We'll watch him there in lane number 4.
Take your mark.
Diving in, good butterfly kicks, tight streamline, just a few strokes here on the first 25. This morning, Ricky Lerner there from Georgia Tech, Cameron Miller setting the pace, 25.0. Lane number 6, it is Ricky Lerner, 25 flat again. Just a slight lead over Harrison Cefalo there for Virginia Tech.
Laner, lane 6, the junior from Georgia Tech.
Lerner continuing to hold on. It was Cefalo there from Virginia Tech that came home the strongest. He dropped almost 2 seconds to get into this B final.
And the finish of the B final goes to Harrison Cefalo from Virginia Tech, Zachary Stevens in second from Notre Dame, and in third, Ricky Leonard at Georgia Tech, finishing in third.
53.78 for the top swimmer there, Virginia Tech. It's a little late from what he did this morning, but still good enough to take 9th place, best in this heat.
Todd Owen, lane 2 from Louisville, finishing in 4th with Cameron Miller, Notre Dame, lane 7, finishing 5th. The B final in the books here for the men's 100-yard breaststroke. The best time of the morning coming from Duke University's Peter Kropp, and he will be in this crop of swimmers coming out right now, the A finalists for the men's 100-yard breaststroke. You see him right there with the Duke sweatshirt and the headphones. That's a good look, Peter, as we get you set for the lane assignments for the 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 2, Yannick Kaiser, the junior from the University of Virginia, 2012 Olympian from Switzerland. In lane 3, Brandon Fiala, the sophomore from Virginia Tech, finished 8th in this event a year ago. In lane 4, Jason Combs, the sophomore from Florida State University, is the school record holder in this event. Peter Kropp, the sophomore from Duke, in lane 5, best time in the morning of 52.17. He was 4th last year in this event. Thomas Dahlia from Louisville, the senior, 4th fastest time in the ACC, is in lane 6. Derek Wren, a sophomore from North Carolina State, 8th fastest time in the ACC this season, in lane 7. Lane 8 is Addison Bray, a senior from Louisville. And in lane 9, it's Kurt Wohlrab, the junior from North Carolina. Wohlrab, top career time of 53.5 in the prelims.
Well, Peter Kropp there, as you see him behind lane 5, top seed, seeded 52.02. He is the conference record holder, set this back in November of this season. Added just about a tenth and a half, 52.17. Expect him to get out and be fast. 24.15 the first 50. He's looking to bring this championship back to Duke. Last swimmer to do that in Durham, Peter Safranczyk, 2012. As we remember, Ian Bishop for NC State won last year. Peter Kropp also swimming the 200 IM last night. Just about 1.4 seconds separates 1 through 8.
100-yard breaststroke, the A final, getting set here in Atlanta.
Take your mark.
Peter Kropp trying to add the meet record set by Zachary Stevens, champion from last year. That is 52.59. Kropp out first. Quickest reaction time too. Strong underwater. Looking very high in the water, good rhythm. Timed his turn just right. Full extension there. Good butterfly kick underwater. Very patient as he pops up. About a half a body length lead there over Dahlia from Louisville in lane number 6. Kropp setting himself up well. Can he bring it home over Dahlia? Dahlia actually had the fastest last 50, 27.8. Kropp did fade. He is fading again, and there goes Dahlia. He's going to pass Kropp, and it's going to be Louisville's Dahlia that's going to take home the championship. 52.36 over 52.71. Another title for the Louisville Cardinals this evening.
Well done, Louisville. Kropp finishes in second. The NC State faithful like it because Derek Wren will also get a medal from North Carolina State. He finishes in third here.
So we talked about Kropp getting out really fast. There's the last turn. He's still got about just a head lead over Dahlia, but Dahlia churning away. More strokes the last 25. He's looking very strong. Crop fades. Makes way for Dahlia, who extends his body in. The senior there for Louisville, 52.36. He's very excited. The second title for Louisville this evening.
Smack that water. You deserve it. Well done for the Louisville Cardinal. There's a good shot there of Donald Moore doing a great job running the ACC championships here. It's been fantastic past couple of weeks in Georgia Tech. Your final results, Dahlia with the gold, Peter Kropp from Duke with the silver, and Derek Wren from NC State with the bronze. And we come back, we will hand out the awards, and we'll also have the 100-yard backstroke. More from the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center right here on ESPN3. Welcome back to the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, part of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. NC State with a comfortable lead, but Virginia Tech and Louisville trying to climb back into it. And Louisville, Thomas Dahlia with an impressive finish in the 100-yard breaststroke as we get ready to hand out some awards here, Warren.
Notable that Peter Kropp still turned in the fastest time of the season here in this conference, 52.02, holding the conference record. Couldn't quite add the conference crown to his resume this season. We'll look what he can do at NCAAs, but Thomas Dahlia brings home the gold for Louisville.
Presenting the medals for the 100 breast is Christine Simitopoulos, the assistant AD for compliance at the University of Louisville. And there you go, up first. Must have been a DQ. It had, as it was Louisville in third, so there must be a DQ. That's why we were a little bit hesitant there, as you see Wren moving up, his second place finish. So Louisville getting first and third place points. So that means NC State's third place finish must have been a DQ, right, Warren?
No, it was Duke swimmers, Peter Kropp, that we're not seeing up there on the stands. So Thomas Dahlia, 52.36. Cardinals going 1-3. NC State very excited still to get on that platform.
Well said, good point.
A big event there for Louisville. 5 swimmers there in the 100 breaststroke. They made it count. NC State had 2. Very good for them to get 1 on the podium.
All right, our final event here, individual event that is, before we get to the relay, is the men's 100-yard backstroke here on Friday night. As we set the lane assignments for the C final, Joey McGinnis, the sophomore from Duke, is in lane 2. Duke sophomore Kazumu Takabayashi, a sophomore from Duke, is in lane 3. Henrik Pullman, a freshman from Virginia, lane 4. Rob Whitaker, a freshman from Notre Dame, in lane 5. It's a freshman from Georgia Tech, Brian Woodbury, lane 6. Zach Switzer, sophomore, Virginia Tech, lane 7. And a couple Yellow Jackets in lane 8 and 9. They're both freshmen, Brad Oberg and Mark Keaveney.
Big event here for North Carolina. They only have 3 swimmers, but they are the top 3 seeds. We'll see them later in the championship final. Louisville with 3 swimmers, also in the championship heat. NC State with 3 swimmers, 2 up, 2 mid. And Virginia Tech, 4 swimmers, 3 in the mid heat and 1 here in the C final.
Georgia Tech swimmer Mark Keaveney, the freshman from Georgia Tech, he's in lane 9.
So we were just handed the results of the men's 100 breaststroke, and sure enough, Peter Kropp, sophomore from Duke, was disqualified for a downward butterfly kick. It's actually a really hard thing to call for the referees. I've talked with some of my friends back in New York City at our facility. A member of the 1980 Olympic team is talking about how many international swimmers are really pushing the limits on that butterfly kick. They're only allowed to do 1 off the wall on a breaststroke pullout, many of them doing a butterfly kick at the beginning and then at the end of their pullout, seeing if they can get away with it. I'm not sure where Kropp's butterfly kick was, whether it was in the finish or the pullout, most likely on the pullout. But very interesting to note there that a referee called that disqualification.
Great job, Warren Perry, picking that out as we get you rolling here with the C final of the 100-yard backstroke. Kobayashi from Duke.
There he turned in the fastest time of the 50 this morning, 23.07. It's Pullman there from Virginia, though, 23.1, setting the pace this evening in the C final. Turning for home there it is Woodbury, actually, for Georgia Tech. Followed closely by Whitaker and Pullman. And it looks like it's actually going to be Pullman, 48.39.
Pullman with the first place finish. Rob Whitaker from Notre Dame is in second. Pullman is a Virginia Cavalier, and then it's Virginia Tech's Zach Switzer finishing third in a pretty tight race here as part of the C final.
48.3, just about 6/10 separate them, 1 through 7. And then about a second later there, Joe McGinnis from Duke. Virginia there getting 17th. Representing the Wahoos very well.
All right, let's meet the consolation finalists for the men's 100-yard backstroke here. Your lane assignments: Josh Friedel, a senior from Florida State's in lane 2. It's Bojack Ayan, a junior from Notre Dame, in lane 3. Morgan Latimer, a senior from Virginia Tech, is in lane 4. Stephen Coulter, a senior from NC State, in lane 5. It's a sophomore from Virginia, Zach Bunner, in lane 6. Colin Higgins, a senior from Virginia Tech, in lane 7. James Peak, a sophomore from Duke, in lane 8. And Robert Owens, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers. The B final, men's 100-yard backstroke.
So Robert Owen, one of those swimmers we talked about that had a big double this evening. We'll see in the second swim here. Other Virginia Tech swimmers, Morgan Latimer, Colin Higgins, big players in their push last year to win the 2014 championship. Colin Higgins actually the fastest seed time coming into this meet, 47.05, or in this heat. Stephen Coates, NC State, dropping 2.5 seconds there to take the top seed. There we see Owen.
Take your mark.
High up out of the water on the backstroke start. Trying to get up, not necessarily close to the block to explode out over the water, but high up so that when they push off, a nice arch down into the water. You see that first turn, very tight. Looks like Zach Bunner for Virginia. Very strong backstroke picks up to test that 15-meter limit, 15-yard limit. It is Bunner there, 22.54. Just about 400ths off his pace this morning. He did go out fastest, look for Closer to come home strong. Bunner still holding on. But here comes the rest of the field. Bunner looks like he's fading slightly. Can he hold on?
And with the reach, it's Coates from NC State finishing in first, Bunner in second, and Latimer in third.
The Coates came in here, seated 9th. I talked to Braden Holloway yesterday. He hates it when his swimmers get 9th or 17th, just missing that 8th or 16th spot in the finals. But Coates doing the best job he could, retaining that 9th spot there, 47.30. Just a little bit slower than he did this morning, but still good enough to get those points for the NC State Wolfpack.
So well done by Stephen Coulter. Zach Bunner finishing in second from UVA, and Morgan Latimer from Virginia Tech finishing in third as the championship finalists for the 100-yard back making their way out. The first swimmer you see there is Aaron Young from Louisville. Great time this morning from Nick Grasser, the junior from North Carolina, 46.19. As we get you set with the lane assignments and the swimmers making their way to their starting position. In lane 2 is Aaron Young. He's a senior from Louisville. Aaron Young, and he's second in the 2014 American Conference Championships. He's in lane 2. Lane 3, Hennessy Stewart, a freshman from North Carolina State, 4th best time in the ACC this year. Lane 4, Sam Lewis, a junior from North Carolina, 3 Tar Heels in this event. 3rd best time in school history is Lewis. Lane 5, Nick Grasser, a junior from North Carolina, set the high school record in the 100 back 3 straight years. It's Grasser, lane 5. Lane 6, another Tar Heel, Ben Colley, a junior from Williamsburg, Virginia, ranks in the top 10. Lane 7, Andreas Sheelaroop, a sophomore from North Carolina State, 3-time All-American. In lane 8, it's Gregory Tarasevich, a sophomore from Louisville. And in lane 9, another sophomore from Louisville is Aaron Green.
There we see Nick Gracer there, junior from North Carolina, dropped 2 seconds for the Tar Heels to take the top spot. North Carolina trying to do what NC State did this evening in the 200 freestyle. They go 1, 2, 3. They've got 3 swimmers in this entire event, and they're trying to take the top 3 spots. That'd be a possible 87 points for the Tar Heels. 100 backstroke, a special event there for the Tar Heels. NC State trying to keep that from happening. Andreas Schiller up there and Hennessy Stewart. Interesting note, Braden Holloway, the coach for NC State, won this event back when he swam in Raleigh, 2000-2001.
Holloway, 5-time All-American, getting it done in his 4th year. Came so close to winning it last year when Virginia Tech won, and then NC State with the best team finish in the NCAAs last year.
So we got 3 Tar Heels, followed by 2 NC State swimmers and 3 Cardinals here in this championship final. Less than a second separates the top spot through 8th. Watch these swimmers get up high over the water as they explode over the start. Make note of how far they go under the water with their butterfly kicks. Watching that red mark there at the 15-yard point. Each one of them testing that limit. It was Schillerup who had the fastest 50 this morning, 22.25, and the Tar Heels came back strong. It does look like Schillerup's going to be out first again, followed very closely by Gracer and Tarasevich. Schillerup trying to interrupt that 1-2-3 punch from the Tar Heels, looking very good, still touching first at the flip turn. Schillerup looking very strong. Here comes lane number 8. Louisville swimmer is actually going to take it, followed by NC State's Schillerup. UNC top 3 spots, not even going to get on the podium tonight. Hennessy Stewart keeping that from happening. So we have Tarasevich, Schillerup, and Stewart.
Well done by Grigory Tarasevich, the sophomore from Louisville.
46.21. There we see the first one to get to the wall there of the 75, Schillerup. Nice strong underwater, but the first one on top is the Louisville swimmer there, lane number 8, Tarasevich. He's going to come home strong, again taking more strokes than Schillerup. You see him throw his head back, extend in, and he touches just about 16/100ths. There's the Louisville sign. Showing the L to the camera as well as the bench. Getting a different Red Nation excited. The Louisville Red.
NC State Red, though, still with the team lead here. Congratulations to Louisville with that victory. Going to break. Take a look at the results right there. You see Tarasevich from Louisville finishing first, winning the gold medal. Andreas Schillerup from NC State. And Hennessy Stewart from NC State. The Wolfpack faithful loving it. Going to take a break, come back. It's the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships right here on ESPN3. Welcome back inside the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center here in Atlanta, Georgia. Our second day of coverage here on ESPN3 will be here tomorrow night as well, 6 o'clock, where we will crown the champion of the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving title. Could be North Carolina State. Right now, though, we hand out the hardware for the men's 100-yard backstroke. North Carolina State finishing in 3rd and 2nd. That's Hennessy Stewart with the bronze. Taking home the silver, Andreas Schillerup here in the 100-yard backstroke, being presented by Eric Erickson, former star and 4-time NCAA All-American from North Carolina. And your 2015 gold medalist here in the men's 100-yard backstroke from Louisville, Gregory Tarasevich, the sophomore from Louisville. Gregory Tarasevich with the Louisville L, and you see the Wolfpack as well. Well done. Louisville red trying to bleed in with that NC State red here as Louisville making a run up the scoring ladder here on moving day. It's part of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. Still one more event to go, but of course they have quite a break before we get to that one. It's the 400-yard medley relay. North Carolina State with 840 points, they lead it. North Carolina is in second place. Virginia Tech and Louisville trying to climb up the scoring ladder as well. It's been a great scene here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, home to the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. We're going to take a break, come back with more here from Georgia Tech 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. Look at the Duke faithful having a good time here during this extended intermission as we get you set for the last event of the night, the 400-yard medley relay. It's moving day as part of the ACC Swimming and Diving Championships here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. Hello, everybody. Dean Linke along with my good friend Warren Perry. And Warren, NC State, we saw the red on Thursday. We weren't sure we were going to see as much, but they continue to have a big lead here.
Yeah, they stood really strong. I mean, they're in the top 8 in every single race. They won one individual event tonight. Louisville, they're coming on strong, winning 3. Virginia Tech getting in there with 1. Looking really even. ACC is very well distributed, a deep pool, and exciting to see what's going to happen the next day.
Always fun to end with an exciting relay as well as you take a look at the final event, the 400-yard medley relay. What a great shot by our crew, walking you all the way around the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. Well done by our producer John Wilkerson, Scott Hicken, all under the direction of Scott McBurney, the VP of the ACC. Delighted to be with you here on ESPN3. And guess what, Warren? We get to do it all over again tomorrow night, crowning a champion. But before we do that, one more event here on Friday night. It's the men's 400-yard medley relay. We'll have one of 2 heats. The first one will be with Boston College in lane 4, Duke in lane 5, and Pittsburgh in lane 6 as the swimmers get set here for one of 2 heat finals. Of course, last year, Florida State, led by Sankovic, they were electric. As we tell you the swimmers here, first for Boston College in lane 4, it's Connor Chamness, Andrew Stranick, Johnny Moores, and Nicholas Hens. That's Boston College lane 4. For Duke, it's Kazuma Takabayashi, Peter Kropp, David Armstrong, and James Peak. That's lane 5. And for Pitt, it's Jody Natariani, Connor O'Prey, Karusha Hani, and David Sweeney.
Very interesting here, the 400 medley relay. We've seen 3 of these 4 100s tonight, the 100 backstroke, 100 breaststroke, and the 100 butterfly. All 3 events won by Louisville swimmers, so we'll see what they have in the next heat. But right now, Boston College, Duke, Pittsburgh, 3:15.5, top seed here in the heat by Duke, 3:21.8, there Boston College in lane number 4. Very nice underwater kick there by lane number 4, Connor Chamness. Boston College, he's going to get to the wall first at the 50, 23.87. Takabayashi there, good wall on the second turn, popping up just a little bit ahead. He's going to get to the third wall first. Nice underwater, just about half a body length lead there for Duke. Lane 5. Takabayashi giving the Blue Devils just about half a body length lead over Pittsburgh as Peter Kropp, 100 breaststroker that we saw earlier this evening, get disqualified in his main event. Coming into this relay with a little bit of a grudge probably. Quickly extending his lead for the Blue Devils, a body length and a half over Pittsburgh swimmer Connor O'Prey. Again, Peter Kropp, 52 flat in a 100 breaststroke. You see him extending his lead high up over the water. Very nice stroke, efficient. Times his walls very well. There's that butterfly kick underneath the water, popping right up. Krop doing everything he can to get those Blue Devils into the top 8. Good start there for David Armstrong, moving into the 100 butterfly leg. Good underwater, almost a full 15 yards. Very strong, over half the pool there. Armstrong again, very quick underwater, reducing the amount of strokes he has to take with his arms. A good 8 to 10 fly kicks there. You see how far ahead he is from the rest of the field. Pittsburgh there in lane 5, Boston College lane 4.
Looking ahead to the A final, with the best time was Louisville with a 3:09.55.
Well, like I said, Louisville is definitely the favorite here. Champions in the 100 back, 100 breast, 100 fly, but then NC State has Simonis Billis, the 100 freestyler. Anchoring the relay, NC State gone 3 for 3 in relays this weekend. And seeing what they can do tonight.
Into the water now for Duke is James Peak. For Pitt, David Sweeney, and Nicholas Hens for Boston College.
Duke a solid 10 to 15 yards lead. Peak on his final turn, couple fly kicks popping right up, plowing through the water there. Couple final breaths, 10 yards to go. It is going to be Peak touching first. 23.2 last 50, finishing with a 3:11.71 there for Duke, 4 seconds ahead of their seed time. Let's see where that puts them in with the rest of the field as we move into the A final.
So the results, Duke here in the first of 2 heats at 3:11.71 Pitt and Boston College. And you can feel the energy here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. It is indeed electric. Every team trying to be louder than the team next to them. As we break down the lane assignments for the A final men's 400-yard medley relay. Lane 2, University of North Carolina, led by Nick Grasser, Kurt Walrep, Sam Lewis, and Logan Heck. Virginia Tech, lane 3, Colin Higgins, Brandon Fiala, Morgan Latimer, and Owen Burns. Lane 4, NC State, Andreas Chilarup, Derek Wren, Soren Dahl, and Simonis Billis. In lane 5, it's Louisville, Gregory Tarasevich, Thomas Dahlia, Pedro Coutinho, and Trevor Carroll. That's Louisville, lane 5. Virginia, lane 6, Zach Bunner, Yannick Kaiser, Austin Quinn, and Nicholas Magana. Lane 7, Georgia Tech, Brian Woodbury, Ricky Leonard, Nico Van Doon, and Andrew Kosick. Lane 8, the Seminoles, Josh Friedel, Jason Coombs, Connor Knight, and Jason McCormick. And lane 9, Notre Dame, Bojack Ayan, Cameron Miller, Justin Plashka, and Zachary Stevens. Here we go, Warren Perry.
Take your mark.
Across the middle of the pool here, Marie Teresevich as well as Andreas Schillerup, a rematch of event number 13 where they went 1-2 just by 16/100ths of a second. Teresevich winning that event for Louisville. Also Colin Higgins, Virginia Tech swimmer. They're in lane number 3. He swam the individual event. But it is the middle of the pool there. Teresevich, a solid lead over Schillerup. But Schillerup a strong third wall, using good 13-14 yards off of it. Lane number 2, also Nick Greza for North Carolina. 46.30, 46.21 for Teresevich. Now we enter the breaststroke. Louisville again, champion in this individual event. Thomas Dahlia there in lane number 5. He was at a 52.3. North Carolina's Kurt Wohlrab. Wohlrab 6th in the individual event.
Louisville leading with North Carolina in 2nd. North Carolina State currently in 3rd.
NC State swimmer Derek Wren was 2nd in the 100 breaststroke. He's going to try and churn up there. Battle for 2nd there between North Carolina and NC State. Thomas Dahlia, though, Still a commanding lead for Louisville, about a body length and a half. He's looking very strong as he comes into the wall. Slows his stroke to time the finish just right as Pedro Coutinho goes in. He was the champion in the individual 100 butterfly. Louisville looking very strong here. Nice, deep underwater fly kick, pops up just at 15 yards. NC State swimmer Soren Dahl, he was 6th in the individual event. Sam Lewis for North Carolina, we talked about him earlier, he was 3rd.
Coutinho's flying though, Warren.
Schools continuing to separate themselves from the field. Coutinho looking very good. He was at a 45.92 in the individual event. He's going to have to give Louisville a good lead. He's got a 2-body length lead right now. Trevor Carroll going to dive in, try and hold off Simonis Billis and the NC State Wolfpack, who have been on fire this weekend. Their perfect record in the relays being threatened here by Louisville.
Billis, though, has narrowed the lead for NC State.
You can see there Trevor Carroll moving over to the other side of the lane. But Billis looking very strong, popping up now just a half a body length lead for Louisville, and Billis is turning right in.
So exciting on the turn. Billis right behind Louisville's Carroll. It's Carroll with the lead. Louisville looks to win it. Louisville in first, followed by NC State. And then in lane 2, it's North Carolina finishing in 3rd. And the Louisville Cardinals winning the 400-yard medley relay.
And we saw there the first 3 swimmers, the champions in the individual events, back, breast, and fly, Teresevich, Dahlia, Coutinho, having to do everything they could to give Louisville as much of a lead as possible, knowing that Simonis Billis was going to dive in there in the 100 freestyle and churn away. So as we see those long arms by Billis, very strong turn there by Trevor Carroll trying to stay under the water. It's Billis that hops up very quickly. You think he's going to be bringing the momentum, but Trevor Carroll is able to hold on that last 25 to that half a body length lead, puts his head down. You can see he turns to the left, confirming that victory over Billis, giving Louisville the title in the 400 medley relay.
Congratulations, Louisville. A lot of Louisville L's here tonight on Friday night, moving day, as Louisville trying to move up. You see the 306.06 for Louisville Cardinals. NC State 306.59, and the North Carolina Tar Heels finishing in 3rd here, the final event on Friday night. We're going to go to break, come back, and hand out a gold, silver, and bronze. The 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships on ESPN 3. Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia's Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center, home to the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. The second of 3 days of coverage right here on ESPN 3. Dean Linke along with Warren Perry, and the Louisville Cardinals winning the last event of the night, the men's 400-yard medley relay.
Teresevich, Dahlia, Coutinho getting individual wins tonight for Louisville, and they finish off with the 400 medley relay win as well.
Mitch Moser, the vice chair of the ACC Swimming and Diving Committee, he's from Duke, will present the bronze, silver, and gold medals. It'll start with the bronze to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Their swimmers, Nick Grasser, Kurt Wohlrub, Sam Lewis, Logan Heck. Congratulations to North Carolina.
There you go, Kurt. Here we go, boys. Stand them out.
Coming in 2nd place, North Carolina State. So good in relays, as you said, Warren Perry.
Now they won the first 3, 800 freestyle, 200 freestyle, 200 medley. Knew it was going to be a challenge tonight with Louisville's individual power. And they did as best they could there with Simonis Billis anchoring it in, just not quite enough as Trevor Carroll held him off.
Here come the Louisville Cardinals. Their fans and family been here all week. They love it.
306.06 automatic bid to the national championship. 64 points coming Louisville's way there as we finish day 3 here.
Those are your top three finishers right there. Now, prior to this, we can take a look at the point totals coming into it. Through 13 events, North Carolina State was leading with 840. They'll now have 896. You see North Carolina in second there was 717. They'll now have 771.5. Louisville is actually now in third place. They have 760.5, and Virginia Tech right behind them, 751. So Louisville's win in that relay pushes them up to third place through 14 events. Is a great look prior to the point totals that we just were handed. Final quick comment, Warren Perry.
It's going to be a big day for NC State tomorrow. 120-point lead. We'll see if anything can change tomorrow.
For Warren Perry, my broadcast partner, John Wilkerson, Scott Hickens, Scott McBurney, and the entire crew, North Carolina State leading after Friday as part of the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships on ESPN. Of Georgia Tech, and why not? It's Championship Saturday, so let's roll indoors to the beautiful Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center, home to the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships, seen right here on ESPN3. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Championship Saturday. I'm Dean Linke, along with former Tar Heel swimmer Warren Perry. And Warren, for the first time since 1992, the NC State Wolfpack could and should win the ACC title.
Braden Holloway had his team ready to go. They were targeting this weekend all season. They've been swimming fast. They've won 3 individual events and 3 relays, and look for them to do even more tonight. They have a chance to take home 5 out of the 6 titles this evening. NC State looking hotter than a plate of Eastern North Carolina barbecue.
So, Warren, as we take a look at the scores, really it's a battle for second and third.
Yeah, we came into the weekend thinking Louisville might make a push, Virginia Tech, the defending champion, as well as North Carolina. We'll also see some star power tonight from Florida State and Notre Dame, but I don't expect anybody to catch the Wolfpack.
So, Warren, we're going to crown a team champion, but we'll also crown the most valuable swimmer. It's got to be a Wolfpack.
I looked at the results from the past couple days and even took into consideration the seeds for tonight, and I really think it's going to be junior Simonas Billis, who's going to be the most valuable swimmer. He won the 50 freestyle and the 200 freestyle already this weekend, and he seeded second tonight in the 100 freestyle, but he is a defending champion and record holder. Look for him to do great things in that event. And even as we look ahead, Hennessy Stewart, a freshman from NC State, broke the 200 backstroke record by dropping 4 seconds this morning. Did some amazing swimming. Braden Holloway recruiting the Wolfpack. They could be on top of the ACC standings for a long time to come.
Tonight, set you up for the events tonight. You've got the 1650-yard freestyle, then your 200-yard backstroke, 100-yard free, 200-yard breast, 200-yard fly, 400-yard freestyle relay, and then we will crown a team champion, most valuable swimmer, most valuable diver as well. And it is electric here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. Dean Linke along with Warren Perry. Of course, our first event will be the men's 1650-yard freestyle. Before we do the lane assignments, any good times at 4 o'clock today?
Yeah, so the swims here in the mile, we had preliminary swims with everybody. 15:03.17 there for Marcelo Acosta from University of Louisville, the top seed coming into this evening.
All right, here are the lane assignments for the final. Adam Linker, a sophomore from NC State in lane 2. Jake Orrs, lane 3, senior from Virginia Tech. Lane 4, Brian Draganowski, a junior from Louisville. Lane 5, Anton Orskop Ibsen, a freshman from NC State. Austin Snyder, a junior from NC State's in lane 6. Michael Zuba, a junior from Virginia Tech, lane 7. From North Carolina, sophomore Josh Beals, lane 8. And it's Brendan Casey, freshman from Virginia, in lane 9. The 1650-yard freestyle to get things started here on Championship Saturday, where the NC State Wolfpack had a great morning to put themselves in a solid position to walk away with their first title since 1992. But let me tell you, That's not their first title. They've got quite a few of them, North Carolina State, as you know well, Warren.
So since 1954, NC State has won 24 conference titles. The next closest, North Carolina with 18, followed by Virginia of 16. Those three schools, of course, charter members of the conference. And then the conference meet actually started in 1962. NC State won 19 of those. As you see there, last title from NC State, 1992. North Carolina had a series of titles there in the 90s, and then 1999, the conference title went to Virginia. The state of Virginia won every title over the past 12 to 15 years. NC State looking to bring that conference back to the state of North Carolina.
Virginia Tech, of course, won it a year ago with NC State being so close, and then NC State went on to the NCAAs and had the best finish. As you take a good look there at NC State's Anton Erskov-Impson, the freshman from NC State, with the best time, a 15:01.52. And in the water they go, the 1650-yard freestyle underway here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center.
They mentioned Anton Impson there at the beginning, a freshman there for NC State. Already this weekend, he finished second in the 100 backstroke and fourth in the 50 freestyle, or excuse me, he was fourth in the 400 IM and won the 500 freestyle, actually. So a good distance swimmer there for NC State. He's got some competition, though. Marcelo Acosta there, as we said, 15:03.17, an invitation already extended to him for the national championship. We'll see what Impson can do here in this heat.
Impson with the fastest time in the ACC this season. Adam Linker, who was in lane 2, finished fourth in last year's ACCs. Jake Orrs from Virginia Tech, the 5th fastest time in the ACC this season. In lane 4, Brian Dragonossi from Louisville. He's from Pennsylvania. Finished first in the 2014 AAC championships. We mentioned Impson. He's part of the Great Danes. Stay with us here during the break. We may show you a little bit about the Great Danes. Austin Snyder from NC State, junior from Charlotte, second in this event a year ago. And Michael Zuba, Virginia Tech. He's from Poland, school record holder in this event, lane 7. Lane 8, Josh Beals, North Carolina, 6th fastest time in the ACC this season. And then Brendan Casey from Virginia, the freshman from Santa Monica, is a member of the U.S. National Open Water Team. A little bit of information on all of the swimmers here in the 1650-yard freestyle, Warren.
The mile, the longest event here in the swimming curriculum, became an event here at the ACC Championships in 1963. Since then, Virginia has won the event 16 times. North Carolina State 14 times. The last time NC State won this event, 1985, with Rich Shinnick. Of course, the mile, 1,650 yards, a 66-length swim. We'll start seeing the field separate here. A little over 200 yards in. Anton Impson looking very strong, breathing to his left every stroke. We talked about that in the 500, even the 200 freestyle. Swimmers take strategy to bring as much oxygen into their body, retaining their energy for the last 200 to 500 yards. Right now, Impson chased by Michael Zuba. They're in lane 7 in second place.
Now, earlier during the prelims, the Warren Perry fan base came up with several questions, both on Twitter and in person, and not just about the mile, but we'll try to get to some of them during this longer event. One of them asking, how do you know when to turn and what time to turn when you're in the water?
So as the swimmers come up, we talk about turns, and turns actually are the second fastest part of any swim. Most important in the 50, the 100, the shorter events there, when you don't have as much time to make any errors. The fastest part of any swim, obviously, the dive start. And then the turn's very important. Freestyle backstroke, you have the flip turn, breaststroke butterfly, you have the touch and go. And we'll see 65 flip turns here in the mile. And we talk about when the flip turns, a number of people have asked. And we got other spectators here watching this broadcast who are swimmers, some who are young, developing swimmers, aspiring to great things, to maybe swim in the ACC Championship one day. A little lesson there, the red buoys in the pool along the lane lines, 15-yard marks, and there's especially come into consideration on the butterfly, the freestyle, and the backstroke events. You can see the red marker there as Impson passes it. That tells the swimmers when they need to be up above the water. So a couple of folks here at the ACC Championships asking Elementary questions, but very good questions as people become familiar with the sport of swimming. They have to swim on top of the water for at least 10 yards each length.
Ibsen in first place, Zuba in second, Orrs from Virginia Tech in third as they approach lap 19. A couple other questions.
So we get to the 500 point here. Marcelo Acosta, we start thinking about the pace. He was at a 4:28.32 this morning. Ibsen here in the lead. He's going to flip at a 4:26.52. So if we imagine a line there in the pool that's setting the pace, Marcelo Acosta, who swam earlier this evening, actually was seated with a 1,000 meter time. Possibly a strategy there from the University of Louisville of keeping him swimming this afternoon, resting him for a possible swim this evening. But he was at a 4:28, so he would be ahead of Anton Ibsen there, and he is eligible to win this event. So even though he's not swimming in this championship event, in the mile, whatever he did this afternoon is taken into consideration.
Ibsen still in first, followed by Zuba from Virginia Tech. And another Hokie in third, Orrs. NC State's Linker is in fourth. Another question coming in to Warren Perry earlier in today. Does height have any pros or cons on a swimmer?
So when you think about the body type of a swimmer, and you've heard a lot about Michael Phelps over the past 10 to 15 years, honestly, and how his body was really designed well for swimming. Athletes talk about picking sports as they go through middle school or high school. Really, sports pick you, depending on what type of body and genetics you're given. Swimmers tend to have long arms and long torsos versus another sport like rowing, where they have smaller torsos but longer arms and longer legs. So height does matter in swimming. Obviously, you can have someone who's a little bit shorter that can excel. I know there's some 50 freestylers out there in the international scene who have done very well with not as much height. But it certainly comes into consideration. The longer you are in the water, you're also more buoyant. So you think about longer strokes, even the freestyle, the backstroke, even the breaststroke and butterfly. As you extend out, you are more buoyant, so height does matter.
Along those lines, are you using more arms or more legs?
So it depends on the stroke. Back in the day, actually, in the 60s and 70s, when swimming was still becoming modernized, people used to think that the kick was really just a stabilizer, that you didn't get a whole lot of propulsion off of your kick. But really you do, especially as you see in the 50 and the 100, the shorter events. The legs are very, very important. But here in the mile, you think about retaining more leg strength for the end of the race, and you'll see these swimmers pick up their pace with their legs the last 2 to 500. But in a mile, the longer distance, it really is an upper body strength that is pushing through the water, gliding through the water, being very efficient as they slide through.
Ibsen still leading for North Carolina State. Ibsen, again, from Denmark, fastest time in the ACC this season. It has been really 4 fantastic days for the NC State Wolfpack, putting together a championship team this year. Warren Perry, you know a little bit about that as well. Your New York program, Sacred Heart, bringing home a championship. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this past weekend, actually, I live in Manhattan. It's great to be back down in the South, originally from North Carolina, but work at a school up there called Sacred Heart. We had our swimming championships last Friday, and our girls won 7 of the 11 events there on the high school scene and brought home the conference title back to our school for the first time since 2011.
And I bring it up because you talked about the comparisons from when you know the team has what it takes to win it, and well, you could tell Braden Holloway felt like this was going to be the year.
So in our season at Sacred Heart, we went undefeated in our conference as well, but we had a lot of star power. And so going into the championship meet, we knew that it was going to be depth that was going to win bring our title back home to Sacred Heart. So at the beginning of the weekend, we talked to Braden about what it was going to take to bring the title back to Raleigh, and he spoke about depth. He's got some firepower in each event, but it really comes down to where those second, third, and fourth swimmers fall in each event.
Ibsen still leading the 1650, followed by Zuba.
We've got about 50 yards to go till we get to the 1,000, starting to look at the pace again. Marcelo Acosta from Louisville turned in a 9:02.88. That's the number we want to watch here. Acosta there, 9th in the 500 freestyle earlier this weekend. Anton Ibsen here, he was the champion. turns it in 8:56.43, so about 6 seconds now ahead of where Acosta was. He's holding 27 lows, whereas Acosta here was holding about 27 mids throughout this point of the race. Now, we talked about earlier in this race how Virginia has been a dominating factor in the mile for so long, won 16 titles over the 50-year history of this event. Matt McLean holds the record, set back in 2009, 14:35.12. Put it in perspective, last year, Virginia's Bradley Phillips won this event 14:58. So we'll see how long Matt McLean, again a 2012 Olympian, how long his record stands here in the ACC.
$16.50, first event here on Championship Saturday at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center, built as part of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. They've been an outstanding host, not just this weekend for the men's swimming and diving championships, but also last weekend for the women, where Virginia walked away with yet another ACC title, their 8th in a row in the women. Still leading, Ibsen from North Carolina State in lane 5. In second, Jake Orrs from Virginia Tech. He's in lane 3. And in third, Michael Zuba now in lane 7.
Jake Orrs there from Virginia Tech, you saw looking very strong there. Holding third place. But Anton Ibsen continuing to extend his lead over the rest of the field, holding 27 lows, 27.2 on that last 50. .5 minutes in, and start thinking about swimming as such a unique sport with one of these longer events. Many people come into these championship meets and get so excited about the 50 freestyle, the 100, those really quick, exciting, loud races. And it's mile, obviously, a little bit longer event where it's more drawn out, takes more energy, sustained attention here from the spectators. But such dedication by our athletes here, the amount of training that goes into being a distance swimmer. Those viewers out there that swam the mile, the 500, know the thousands and thousands of yards that they put in, many hours of practices, all for this type of race.
Another storyline here at Georgia Tech as part of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships is the fact that Virginia Tech won the diving competition with 247 points. NC State in the diving competition with 0. As you take a look at Jake Orrs in second place at the moment. Virginia Tech with 247 in diving, UNC 194, UVA 144, but NC State no points in diving, yet they will most likely win the ACC swimming and diving title.
Yeah, 21 events here in this championship meet, 3 of which are diving. NC State made the decision to not bring any divers. Each team is allowed 18 slots. A diver actually counts for half a slot. So for example, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, they bring 16 swimmers and 4 divers. University of Louisville brought 17 swimmers and 2 divers. And NC State, as we talked about, 18 swimmers, no divers here. Very interesting strategy there, Braden Holloway. Imagining swimming 18 of the 21 events here this weekend and still coming out on top. So right there, 1,500 yards, 13:42 was the pace by Marcelo Acosta. Ibsen there, 13:28.7. So 14 seconds ahead of the top seed from this morning. About 15 laps to go here in this event. Now we'll start seeing the legs get put in, as we talked about at the beginning of this race. Ibsen still breathing every stroke. Such a strong aerobic system there on this freshman.
Impressive performance from Ibsen. One of the Great Danes for NC State.
Anton Ibsen, obviously a distance swimmer. We mentioned at the beginning, he swam the 400 IM, the 500 freestyle in this meet. Now he's looking to put a cap on it with the mile.
How dominant of a performance is this by Ibsen?
Really good. You can see a full body length lead really over Jake Orrs there in lane number 3. Comes in, touches at a 14:48.52. About 12 seconds ahead of last year's champion. Bringing the title home in this event back to Raleigh for the first time since 1985. You see him there with the Wolfpack sign.
Orrs finishes in second, and the NC State Wolfpack get more points with Linker finishing in third. There are some scores, though, from the 4 o'clock swim that will also play a factor. But Anton Ibsen, the ACC champ.
NC State coming into this event with 5 swimmers. Again, not an event that they have had much of a presence in the past few years, but 5 entries in this event. The next closest, Virginia Tech, there with 3. Louisville and North Carolina, 2 entries. So NC State definitely racking up some points here to begin this session.
See Anton Erskov Ibsen from NC State. Jake Orrs in lane 3 from Virginia Tech. Adam Linker from NC State, and Austin Snyder also earning some points for NC State.
So we'll get ready to add in the preliminary swims. Marcelo Acosta, Henry Campbell of North Carolina, Yuval Safra from Georgia Tech, also swimmers that got under 15:10.
The NC State Wolfpack continue to roll on. When we come back, we'll hand out some hardware and bring you the 200-yard backstroke. Later on, we'll crown a champion here on ESPN 3. Championship Saturday, it is electric, and it's going to get louder and prouder, especially for the NC State Wolfpack, and they had themselves a fantastic swim to get things started here for the men's 1650-yard freestyles. We head over to the awards ceremony. The presenter for the 1650 free is Harrison Merrill, a star at UNC, 3-time All-America back in 1963 through 65, who now lives in Atlanta. And he'll hand out the bronze to Marcelo Acosta, who swam at 4 o'clock today, but his time of 15:03.17 earns him the bronze for Louisville.
Sneaks in there by just really 0.2 of a second over Adam Linker. Wondered what Marcelo Acosta could have done if he had someone pacing him from this morning.
Well said. Finishing in second from Virginia Tech is Jake Orrs with a 14:57.58. As we head over to the awards platform, as they did mention Adam Linker, whose 3rd place finish because of Acosta's performance at 4 o'clock will push him to 4th. Now Harrison Merrill, the 3-time All-American, as I said, from the University of North Carolina from 63 to 65, and now lives in Atlanta, will hand out the hardware. Coming up after we hand out the hardware here on Saturday night, it's the 200-yard back, the 100-yard free, 200-yard breast, 200-yard fly, 400-yard freestyle relay, and then somebody's going in the water, and I think it's going to be the NC State Wolfpack. As you see Marcelo Acosta from Louisville, that bronze medal finish. We've seen a lot of the Louisville L's this weekend as well. So nice to have Louisville now in the ACC, of course. There's Jake Orrs, the silver. And your champion, one of the Great Danes, Anton Ibsen, with the gold medal in the 1650 free. You told the story yesterday, though, about Braden Holloway and the Denmark contingent, but tell it again, Warren.
Well, just that Braden Holloway decided to go abroad and start recruiting heavily from Europe a couple years ago, and he wanted to start that turnaround there in Raleigh on the backs of a number of international swimmers. He's done just that. These guys are carrying NC State to probably their first title in a while.
Get you set here now for the next event, the men's 200-yard backstroke. First, the C final, as we'll break down the lane assignments for you here on ESPN3. In lane 2 is Charles Putnam, a senior from University of Virginia. There's another Virginia Cavalier in lane 3, and it's Henrik Pullman. Lane 4 is Bradley Klein, a sophomore from Duke. It's a senior from Pitt, Joey Natiriani, in lane 5. In lane 6, it's Zachary Learley, a sophomore also from Pitt. In lane 7, it's Mark Keaveney, a freshman from Georgia Tech. In lane 8, Connor Kaliz, a freshman from Florida State. And then it's Brad Oberg, a freshman from Georgia Tech, in lane 9. Those are your lane assignments for the C final here as part of the men's 200-yard backstroke. And keep in mind, coming up is Hennessy Stewart, the freshman who shattered the record and his own personal record even by 4 seconds with a 1:39.73 this morning to get things rocking and rolling here at 10 a.m. this morning, Warren.
Yeah, we talked to him this afternoon just about that race. He swam out of his mind, was really excited. You saw it there too. He even got a little sick after his race. So he's really strong. We'll see what he can do tonight. I know he and Braden are very excited, hoping to finish off this good run. He got the conference record. Now he's hoping to add the crown in a couple heats.
Best time in the C final for these 8 swimmers. This morning, 2 swimmers coming in with a 1:45.6, both of them from Pitt. Lane 5, Jody Notariani and Zachary Learley. Good look at Learley. And here we go, the 200-yard backstroke C final.
High above the water there on that start. Very beautiful entry there by all 8 swimmers. Just about 1.9 seconds separates the field here. As you said, Learley 1:45.6. He and his teammate Joey Natariani actually tied there for the 17th spot. Had they gotten one more up, there would have been a swim off. But they're both there in the middle of the pool. It was Henrik Pullman who went out fastest this morning at a 24.4. He goes out fastest again to set the pace, 23.74 there in lane number 3 for Virginia.
See if Pullman can keep the pace this time around.
Strong underwater. We talked about the turns and that red buoy there. They come into play here on the backstroke. The swimmers staying underwater for a few butterfly kicks to get up on the water. Swims fast. Not as many butterfly kicks here on the 200. 49.74, still Pullman out in front. This is when Learley started to make his move this morning. There you see Learley and Klein in the middle of the pool, followed by Georgia Tech's Mark Keaveney and Connor Kaliz from Florida State.
It is Pullman, followed by Learley, and now Klein from Duke in 3rd, and as you said, Kaliz from Florida State 4th in lane 8.
Again, Learley came home very strong this morning. I don't know if he's got enough left in his tank here. Pullman set himself up very well.
Pullman looking to hold the lead here down the stretch. Pullman in lane 3 will get it. Lane 4, Zachary Learley actually taking 2nd. In lane 4, Bradley Klein from Duke finishes in 3rd. Congratulations to Henrik Pullman.
1:45.19 there for Pullman. Drops a good 2.5, almost 2 seconds from his time this morning.
Here are the results here for the C final, the men's 200-yard backstroke. See Henrik Pullman from UVA.
And we saw Bradley Klein coming on strong there. Looked like he had a little bit of energy, only 7/10 off there, the top spot in this heat.
Now we'll get you set for the B final here of the 200-yard backstroke with your lane assignments. As you see, Mr. Pullman, well done for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Kyle.
Lane assignments now for the B final. Here you go. Tom Anderson, the sophomore from Notre Dame, lane 2. In lane 3, a senior from Virginia Tech, Colin Higgins. It's Yuval Safra, a junior from Georgia Tech, in lane 4. Nick Grasser, a junior from North Carolina, lane 5. Josh Friedel, a senior from Florida State, lane 6. A freshman from Notre Dame, Rob Whitaker, is in lane 7. In lane 8, it's Zach Switzer, a sophomore from Virginia Tech. And in lane 9, Bojack Ihan, a junior from Notre Dame. Those are your lane assignments for the B final, the 200-yard backstroke.
Just about a second separates this field. Nick Grasser there, the University of North Carolina swimmer, a junior there in Chapel Hill. He was 4th in the 100 backstroke, so let's see how he can do in the 200.
Swimmers in position. B final, 200 back.
Take your mark.
High above the water, arching that back to enter in a dive form even on your back. Strong kicks, you see them pop up just alongside that red buoy, getting a full 15 yards. A butterfly kick underwater. Fastest out this morning was Josh Friedel, as well as Colin Higgins, posting a 23.8 each. Set the pace for the field. It's going to be lane 6. Friedel there, Florida State. 23.67. Out very strong. Followed closely by Gracer there, 23.9 for North Carolina. .100 yards in. Colin Higgins set the pace this morning, 49.86. It's still Josh Friedel, though, 49.86 here for him. Followed closely by lane 2, Tom Anderson from Notre Dame, 50-point flat. It is Anderson that's actually looking very strong, 75 yards to go.
Anderson from Notre Dame in lane 2.
Now this morning we saw Grazer come home very strong, 25.6. A solid second ahead of the rest of the field. And here comes Gracer. Can Anderson hold on? You also see Friedel there. Lane 2, Colin Higgins, an experienced backstroker there for Virginia Tech, trying to get in the mix.
It's going to be an exciting finish for sure, Warren Perry. Looks like lane 5 at the moment, Josh Friedel with just a slight lead in lane 5. Friedel will tap first. Coming in second, Whitaker from Notre Dame, and in third, Anderson from Notre Dame as well.
So Nick Grasser there, North Carolina, coming back very strong, 26.1. Again, the fastest 50 on the back half, 143.32 there for North Carolina. Gracer went out strong, held it in the middle, and then came home. Solid kicks, good turns there, gives Gracer a championship here in the B final. Here we'll see this replayed. Nick Gracer coming in.
Congratulations to Nick Grasser, the junior from North Carolina, winning the B final. You see the finishes there. And lane 5, of course, was Grasser. Friedel actually faded for Florida State. Notre Dame Fighting Irish with 3 swimmers in the top 8 as we get you set now for the A final, the 200-yard backstroke. And you see the finalists come out. And a good look right there a moment ago at Hennessy Stewart, smoking this morning, a 139.73 as we give you the lane assignments here. North Carolina Tar Heels are featured, including in lane 2 is Patrick Myers, a senior from the University of North Carolina. He is in lane 2. In lane 3, a junior from Louisville, Nolan Tessone. It's Nolan Tessone, the junior from Louisville, in lane 3. In lane 4, it's Aaron Green, the sophomore from Louisville. And in lane 5, keep an eye on Hennessy Stewart, the freshman from NC State. Lane 6, Robert Owen, a sophomore from Virginia Tech with the 2nd fastest time this morning. In lane 7, Stephen Coulter, a senior from NC State. In lane 8, it's Gregory Tarasevich, a sophomore from Louisville. And in lane 9, it's Austin Quinn, a sophomore from Virginia. Those are your finalists. As you look at Hennessy Stewart, so wiped out after that blazing time, actually was throwing up just off the deck. Braden Holloway comes over and says to him, as he's finished throwing up, and says, "At least I know you're trying."
Hennessy did a great swim this morning, went out 23.0, and then just continued to be strong, splitting 24.9, 25.7, 25.9. Again, as you said, dropping 4 seconds from his seed time, getting an A cut to the national championship, 139.73, breaking that conference record that was set last year by Higgins, 140.10.
How hard is it to bring that kind of smoke that you brought at 10 a.m. this morning to the evening session?
Well, a lot of first years that come into this championship meet, they're very excited to get on this scene for the first time, and they just have a lot of energy. And of course, NC State, as we talked about, red hot this meet. So Stewart really going on the vibe with the fans. NC State Wolfpack fans have been here in throngs to support these swimmers. I think Hennessy Stewart's got great energy tonight, so we'll see what he does.
Great job, Warren Perry. In the water here, the A final, the 200-yard backstroke. Stewart off to a great start, a great turn. Lane 5, Hennessy Stewart.
NC State strong here in this event. Won it 15 times.
Look at Stewart, almost a full body lead after 3 laps.
He's out at a 22.76, 3/10 faster than this morning. I'd say he's got enough energy.
He answered the bell for sure. Look at that turn.
Very strong, smooth butterfly kicks. Now about a 2 body length lead over the rest of the field. He was out at a 48.03 this morning, 47.5. Half a second ahead of what he went this morning.
Robert Owen in second, lane 6 for Virginia Tech in third. It's Louisville's Aaron Green. Hennessy Stewart, the freshman, with a 139.73 this morning, an ACC record in this event.
NC State not won this event since 1978. Dan Harrigan, when the top time was 152.14. I think his 139.73 this morning has certainly come a long way. Hennessy Stewart looking very strong here with 25 yards to go.
Last turn for Hennessy Stewart, the freshman from Denver, Colorado. Excellent turn, still a full body lead. It'll be Stewart again for NC State and Wolfpack domination. Stewart with the first place finish. Coming in second, Tarasevich from Louisville, and Green also from Louisville finishing in third. So the Wolfpack red and the Louisville red, and you see the heart right there of Stewart. What a great day for Hennessy Stewart.
139.37, breaking his record from this morning, cutting another 0.4 of a second off. 26.07 coming home the last 50. Here we see a very steady head, strong underwater, throwing his body weight back. That last butterfly kick touches the wall. Sees his record-breaking performance for a second time today.
I asked you if he could do better than he did this morning, and he actually broke his own record. Congratulations. As you said in the open, a bright future for NC State. Hennessy Stewart with a record-breaking time. Tarasevich from Louisville, and the Cardinals also finishing in third with Aaron Green. But Hennessy Stewart stealing the show here for the NC State Wolfpack. A great start for NC State. They win the mile and the 200-yard backstroke. We'll come back with the 100-yard free. It's the 2015 ACC Swimming Championships on ESPN3. Fantastic crowd here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center in Atlanta, Georgia. It's been a beautiful day here on Championship Saturday. Glad to have you with us here on ESPN3 for the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. We started the show about NC State could and should. Guess what, folks? They will. Winning the 1650 and now taking home the 200-yard backstroke. Michelle Lee, the chair of the ACC Swimming and Diving Committee. It's only fitting that she's over there to hand out the gold medal. There's Aaron Green, winner of the 200 back. And then Gregory Tarasevich taking home the silver. But put your hands together for Hennessy Stewart, the freshman. A record-breaking performance this morning. Even broke that record here this evening, Warren Perry.
NC State's strong performance there in the finals. They had 2 swimmers swimming this evening. Both of them were in the championship final. Louisville there receiving the 2-3 spot. 3 swimmers in this event. They got them on the podium as well. Some strong swimming by both Louisville and NC State.
And there's Michelle Lee from NC State. And the Wolfpack Stewart with the ACC record with a 1:39.37.
I talked to Hennessy during warm-up, and he certainly was very focused. Braden as well knew that he had a chance to bring home this title. Teresevich there won the 100 backstroke, and it was going to be a good race, but from start to finish, Stewart looked very strong. A really exciting evening so far for the NC State Wolfpack.
Coming up next, it's the men's 100-yard freestyle. This event has been owned by Simonis Billis from NC State, who we'll see in the A final, but let's meet the swimmers first in the C final for the men's 100-yard freestyle. Here are your lane assignments. For Louisville in lane 2, it's the junior Pedro Coutinho. Had a good evening yesterday. He's in lane 2. Lane 3, Noah Haraz is a freshman from your host, Georgia Tech. Matthew Lockman, a sophomore from Virginia, is in lane 4. Lucas Bureau, a junior from Virginia Tech, had a 44.16 this morning. He's in lane 5. Nicholas Magana, a freshman from Virginia, is in lane 6. It's Justin Plashka, a freshman from Notre Dame, in lane 7. It's a sophomore from NC State, Scott Johnson, in lane 8. And a senior from Virginia Tech, CJ Fiala, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers here for the men's 100-yard freestyle C final.
And we talked about NC State dominating a lot of events. They swim very well in the 50. They swim very well in the 200. This really may be their best event. They've got 7 swimmers in tonight's championship B and C finals, a possible 134 points based on the seeding. And we'll see 4 later in the championship heat. We've got 1 now, probably the best event for NC State. Continuing to build that momentum, heading up to the final relay and what could be a very strong capstone on an NC State weekend.
Take your mark.
Fastest off the block there, .63, Justin Plaska from Notre Dame. Earliest to the 50 this morning was Plashka, 20.61, just 1/10 of a second separated this field. Getting to the wall first, actually, Virginia's Magana, 20.92 there. Middle of the pool, trying to fight for some clean water. Plashka there for Notre Dame, trying to fight back. Bureau, Virginia Tech came home quickest in 23.0. But it is going to be Plashka who holds on, 22.83 second 50 split, touching at a 44.03 for Notre Dame.
Finishing in second is Nicholas Magana from Virginia, and in third, Virginia Tech's Lucas Bureau. But a nice start for Plashka from Notre Dame. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish with a new coach going through a bit of a transition. A nice finish here from Plashka. I'll let you talk about the Irish as he brings it home.
For Plashka there, we see behind the results, looking very good. Long arm, rotating it through, pushing down. Actually, Plashka looks down the pool to see if he can see any open space between the wall and any swimmers before he finishes. And he looks back to the wall, sees a first place beside his name. Got to be pleased with that.
Those are the results right there as you see Plashka. Nicholas Magana from UVA finishing in second. Lucas Bureau from Virginia Tech, as well as CJ Fiala as well from Virginia Tech. Those are the results of the men's 100-yard freestyle C final. Let's give you the lane assignments here on the B final for the men's 100-yard freestyle. Good look there at Matthias Lindenbauer from Louisville. He'll be right in the middle. In lane 2 is Aaron Young, the senior from Louisville. Lane 3, Lucas Pop, sophomore from North Carolina. Lane 4, Andreas Schillerup, the sophomore from NC State. He's been great all week. Another great Dane as well. In lane 5, it's Rudy Edelin, a senior from Louisville. There's another Louisville Cardinal in lane 6. We saw him earlier, Matthias Lindenbauer. And more Louisville love in lane 7. It's Carlisle Blondell. Then Logan Heck, the junior from North Carolina, is in lane 8. And Jason Deanna, lane 9 for North Carolina State.
Louisville's got to be a little disappointed here to get 4 swimmers in this B final and not get any more in the A. Look for them to come out with a vengeance, trying to get the 1st or the 9th and the 10th spot to get as many points as they can. Quickest off the block there was Rudy Edelin. He split a 20.70 this morning, but it's going to be lane number 8 from North Carolina, Logan Heck. Turning first to the 50, 20.38. Here comes lane number 6 from Louisville, Lindenbauer. Lindenbauer just a little behind Heck. Heck there breathing to his left. He can see Lindenbauer coming down the pool. Can Heck hold on? I'm not sure. There goes Lindenbauer. And it's going to be Lindenbauer that extends first 22.71 to second 50, 43.50. Louisville taking first place. NC State's Schiller up there with a 43.53 for second. And Logan Heck fading back to 43.73. Going to get third there for the Tar Heels in this heat.
Every point matters, of course, as we'll start looking at that race for second and third. And boy, you see Louisville gathering all kinds of points. 4 swimmers here in the B final, the men's 100-yard freestyle, including the Cardinals' Matthias Lindenbauer winning it in lane 6. But guess what? It's time to crank the music and bring out the A finalists for the men's 100-yard freestyle. Couple A cuts in the middle. Andrew Kosick from Georgia Tech and Simonis Billis, who many think will win the most valuable swimmer here. And we look at the lane assignments for the 100 free. In lane 2, Soren Dahl, one of the Great Danes, sophomore, 2014 ACC champion in the 800 free relay. Lane 3, Owen Burns from Virginia Tech, career best 42.86 in the prelims. Lane 4, Ryan Held from NC State. He's a freshman, Illinois Swimmer of the Year. Lane 5, Andrew Kosick, Georgia Tech, 2014 All-American. Lane 6, Simonis Billis, NC State junior from Lithuania, 2014 All-American and ACC champ. Lane 7, also from NC State, David Williams, 4-time All-American. In lane 8, Yusuf Hamoud, Georgia Tech, junior from Egypt. And in lane 9, Trevor Carroll for Louisville. He's a sophomore from Indiana. Those are your 8 swimmers for the A final men's 100-yard freestyle, and all eyes on Billis.
There we see Billis there. We talked about him at the top of the broadcast. He won the 200 freestyle and the 50 free earlier this weekend. We said he was seated second tonight up against Andrew Kosick. Kosick and Billis went head-to-head there in the 50. Billis won that one. We'll see what he can do this evening. He holds the conference record, 42.19. That was actually set at the NCAA championships last year. He went a 42.45, so just about 3/10 off of his best time. Does he have what it takes to bring home the title again, repeating for the NC State Wolfpack?
Good look right there at a young man. Our producer John Wilkerson calls the Lithuanian Lightning, and we'll see if he brings home the Lightning here in the 100 free. Down and back, Warren Perry. Bring us home here.
So Billis, look for him to jump right out from the beginning. Kosick's the one who came home a little bit stronger.
Take your mark.
Exploding off the block there. Quickest reaction time, 0.62, actually, by Ryan Held from NC State. First to the wall there. Tight flip there was Simonis Billis. He pops up just a little bit of a lead over Kosick there in lane number 5. An NC State sandwich there, Ryan Held, and Billis going 1-2 for the first 50, 20.04. Billis out 19.9 this morning, so just a little bit back. He's flipping tight, a solid lead over Kosick right now as he comes home. He's got clean water. Simonis Billis looking very strong to win his 3rd title of the weekend. He goes 3 for 3, 21.9, split back, 41.94, touching and breaking his conference and meet record set last year. Way to go. Out on a high note there for Simonis Billis, the 50, the 200, and now the 100 freestyle champion for NC State. They've won all their events so far this evening, Dean.
It's been a great night for NC State. It's been a great 4 days for that matter, as he gives a hug as well to David Williams. But look at this final flip, as you said.
We talk about it so much in our own practices. The shortest distance between 2 lines, between 2 points, is a straight line. He's got a tight flip. Now we see him out in clean water as he comes in the final 10 yards, touches the wall. Look at that celebration on Billis. He's had such a great weekend. I think he certainly has made a contention for becoming the most valuable swimmer of this meet.
No doubt about it, but here's what you love. At the finish, he went immediately to his right to give a hug to David Williams, who was in the lane next to him, finishing in 3rd. And how about Ryan Held with a 4th place finish? And you'll take the points from Soren Dahl as well. NC State getting it done as they are cruising here as part of the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming Championships in Atlanta. It's been all Wolfpack. Welcome back as we're here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. You see the ACC. It's the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships as we get ready to present the bronze, silver, and gold for the 100 free. A couple of NC State Wolfpack swimmers will be on the podium. That's been a familiar theme here the last 4 days, Warren.
They've done so well in the sprint events, even winning actually most of the events. The 500 freestyle, the mile. If I have it correctly, I think NC State's won every single freestyle event this weekend.
David Williams finishing with the bronze for NC State. That's Andrew Kosick from Georgia Tech taking home the silver. Presenting the awards is Jal DeLuca from Louisville, 2014 NCAA champion in the 100 free. And there he is, Simonas Bilis. Get ready, Simonas, because this will probably not be the only medal you take home from the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center.
What a strong performance. Breaking 42 there for the first time in ACC history. His own record goes down from last year. A huge congratulations to Simonas Bilis and the NC State Wolfpack, continuing to look very strong on this last day of the ACC Championships.
Well done for North Carolina State. Congratulations as well for Andrew Kosick for Georgia Tech. Let's roll on to the next event here on Championship Saturday. And it's the men's 200-yard breaststroke. We start with the C final. And we'll give you your lane assignments here in Atlanta. In lane 2 from the University of Pittsburgh, it's a junior, Connor O'Prey. In lane 3, a sophomore from Pitt, is Gabriel Larson. In lane 4, a junior from Georgia Tech, Ricky Lenner. In lane 5, a senior from Notre Dame, is Zachary Stevens. In lane 6, a freshman from Georgia Tech, Moises Lashi. In lane 7, a junior from Virginia, Eric Holden. It's a senior from Boston College. In lane 8, Andrew Stranick. And Patrick Olson, a senior from Notre Dame, is in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for the men's 200-yard breaststroke C final.
And there we see Zachary Stevens there, the senior from Notre Dame. He actually holds the ACC meet record, was set at this meet last year, 153.34. He turned into 158.19 this morning. You got to wonder if he's preparing or saving himself for the NCAA championships next month. We get ready to look at these swimmers. We'll see Ricky Lerner, the junior from Georgia Tech that explodes off the blocks. Really has a lot of speed there coming up. And then it's Zachary Stevens who brought it home this morning. Just about 2 seconds separating whole field, 158.19 from Stevens. Again, adding about 3 seconds from his seed time down to 2:00.45. Patrick Olson there in lane number 9.
C finalists set for the 200-yard breaststroke. Then we have the 200-yard butterfly. And then the 400-yard freestyle relay. And they're in the water for the C final here of the 200-yard breaststroke.
We talk about NC State so much this evening. This is the one event tonight that we will not see them dominating. They only have 2 swimmers in this whole event, and they're in the B final. Louisville actually has the most of the top 4 teams. 4 we'll see in the A final. Virginia Tech, 2 swimmers. North Carolina, 3. One event of the evening that NC State will probably not be bringing home a title in. Looking strong there, 75 yards in. Ricky Lerner, we talked about, going out fastest this morning. He was at a 55.54. As he comes in, we'll watch the pace. A little bit of an extra stroke there coming into the wall. Short, choppy, 56.07. So just about half a second slower this morning. Teammate Patrick Olson down there in lane number 2.
Through the first 3 events here tonight, NC State with a big lead, 1190, Louisville at 969.5, Virginia Tech at 895, and North Carolina at 864.5.
There we saw a close-up of Olsen there in lane number 9. He and Stevens, teammates from South Bend, 127.05. 50 yards to go. There goes Stevens. Again, he was strongest the last 50 this morning, splitting a 30.2. The 2014 ACC meet record holder. In the C final here, not a place he's accustomed. Now he's got clean water, a body length and a half lead. Last 5 yards. Touching at a 157.31, 30.2. Last 50.
And a tie for second, Ricky Leonard from Georgia Tech in lane 4, tying with Pitt's Connor O'Prey in lane 2.
We see Zachary Stevens there, senior. Final swim here at the ACC Championships. We'll see what he does at NCAAs.
Good look at the results right there. Pitt with a couple swimmers in the top 4. Notre Dame, though, Zachary Stevens, you said, not accustomed to swimming in the C final. An easy victory for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the C final. Time now to set the table for your swimmers here in the B final of the 200-yard breaststroke. We'll give you the lane assignments. In lane 2, a senior from Pitt is Luke Nosbish. In lane 3, from NC State, a sophomore, Derek Wren. Harrison Cephalo, senior from Virginia Tech, lane 4. In lane 5, Yannick Kaiser from Virginia, he's a junior. In lane 6, Brian Bollerman, a senior from North Carolina. Another senior from North Carolina is in lane 7, that's David Spies. Cameron Miller, lane 8, senior from Notre Dame. And it's a freshman from NC State, Ben Kono, in lane 9. Those are your swimmers for the B final, the 200-yard breaststroke.
We talked about the 2 NC State swimmers in this event. They are in this heat, spotted 13th and 16th respectively. Look for Braden to try and get those guys to climb up a little closer to 9th and 10th. Can't break into the top 8 based on their preliminary swims.
Take your mark.
Into the water for the B final 200-yard breaststroke.
Just about a second and a half separating this field. David Spies set the pace this morning, 26.0. Was fastest out, the senior out of North Carolina. Spies there at the bottom of your screen, lane number 7 with the white cap on, but it looks like lane number 4 is actually going to touch first. Cephalo there, 25.94. He was out 26.1, so just about on pace from what he did this morning. Looking very strong, high out of the water recovery. About halfway up there, strong underwater pull there for Cephalo. Halfway through, 55.54. About a half a second ahead of what he was this morning. Virginia's Kaiser, as well as Spies there, trying to come up on him. Strong butterfly kick. We know it got a swimmer disqualified in the 100 breaststroke. The 200 swimmers want to be very careful of where they place that butterfly kick. Kaiser looking strong as he's trying to come on to Cephalo, but Cephalo still maintaining about a half a body length lead, splitting 29.8, 125.4. Going to be a race for home, the last 25 yards. There, Kaiser breaks the surface first over Cephalo. A little bit more energy there coming home, looking very strong as he comes into the flags. Long extension there, 30.1, last 50, 155.84 there for Yannick Kaiser, giving Virginia the win here in this B final.
In second place, Harrison Cephalo from Virginia Tech. And in third, it's Cameron Miller from Notre Dame, but well done, Yannick Kaiser. Great call, Warren, as well. Take a look at the results. UVA with the first place finish with Kaiser. NC State still able to earn points, though, with Ben Kono and Derek Wren. Cephalo from Virginia Tech, followed by Cameron Miller. The results for the 200-yard breaststroke B final. And now we'll watch the swimmers come out for the A final. Gotta love the job of that young man leading out these fantastic swimmers. Best time coming in from Thomas Dahlia, the senior from Louisville. He'll be right in the middle here, the men's 200-yard breaststroke. You see the Louisville Cardinals with 4 swimmers here in the A final. Let's give you the lane assignments. Todd Owen from Louisville, he's a freshman, actually hails from Louisville. In lane 3, it's Brandon Fiala from Virginia Tech, finished 13th in this event a year ago. In lane 4, Peter Kropp from Duke, finished 4th in this event a year ago. In lane 5, Thomas Dahlia, the senior from Louisville, 2nd at the 2014 AAC Championships. In lane 6, also from Louisville, it's Addison Bray, the senior from Indiana. In lane 7, Carlos Claveri, the freshman from Venezuela for Louisville. In lane 9, it's Jason Combs, the sophomore for Florida State. He's a qualifier. And in lane 9, Kurt Wohlrab, the junior from Pinehurst, North Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. Those are your lane assignments. 200 breast.
Thomas Dahlia there, senior from Louisville. He won the 100 breaststroke last night, 52.36. Look for him to go out strong and finish strong. 154.7, as Dean said. We'll see if he can come back down to where his seed time was, 153.83. Talked to Arthur there, the coach from Louisville. Not all of these Cardinals are rested, but it's nice to see a 1-2 possible punch here for the Cardinals. These 2 seniors trying to do their first ACC championship in style.
As you said, Dahlia winning the 100-yard breaststroke.
Second seed Adam Bray actually finished 3rd in this event in the 100 breaststroke last night.
Good look at Dahlia.
Take your mark.
Swimmers getting set here. A final.
Quickest pace this morning set by Brandon Fiala from Virginia Tech, as well as Jason Combs, Florida State, 25.55. First to the wall there, Dahlia, 25. Long pull out. Just about 2 seconds separates this field. Wide pull there from Dahlia. Strong stroke, long extension into the second wall. 25.54 actually is the field pace from Jason Combs in Florida State, lane number 8. Just a couple hundreds ahead of the field. There we see Fiala in lane number 3 and Dahlia, lane number 5. Evening up there on Combs. Also lane number 9, don't count out Kurt Wohlrab, but there's a good picture there. The Cardinals, Dahlia and Bray. 100 yards to go, 54.67. About a half a second faster than they were out this morning. Dahlia and Bray trying to do great things for Louisville. Dahlia starting to extend his lead a little bit. 75 yards, just about a body length lead now. Still looking very strong, high out of that water recovery. Means he's got a great kick allowing that recovery coming up. 29.10 is his pace still. Here comes Peter Kropp, lane number 4, Addison Bray. But it's Dahlia turning for home, a solid body length lead. 154.74, hoping he's going to break that this evening. And he will better his time, 153.51. Just about half a second off the conference record set by Rob Holderness in 2011. But Dahlia looking very strong, followed by Addison Bray from Louisville. A 1-2 punch there for Louisville. Even a third punch. Carlos Claveri there, 153, 154, 154.8. It's Cardinal red there.
And you see Louisville here. Dahlia won the 100-yard breast. Now he'll win the 200-yard as well. And a clean sweep for Louisville. was interesting because I walked by the Louisville coach as he was addressing his team before tonight started, Alberto Albiero, and he was telling his team that they can finish second in this event. And you look right now, Louisville is firmly in second.
Yeah, they had 4 swimmers in this event. And top 3, 1, 2, 3, and 7. Very strong performance here in this event by Louisville. Some strong breaststrokers. 2 seniors, we'll wave goodbye to them, but I think their future looks bright there from Louisville in the breaststroke events.
Well done. Our final individual event will be the 200-yard butterfly before the 400-yard freestyle relay. Well done by Louisville. We roll on from Atlanta. Florida State Seminoles. Last year, Pavel Sankovic for Florida State was so dominant. Not making quite as much noise this year. Florida State, but still having a good time. Everybody is here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. They've been wonderful hosts. And it'll be all Louisville Cardinals, though, up on the podium here as we hand out the bronze, silver, and gold for the 200-yard breast. Wendy Myers, the vice chair of the ACC Swimming and Diving Committee, will hand out the hardware. Wendy Myers from Pittsburgh. It's all Louisville, though. Addison Bray.
Carlos Clavery, Addison Bray, Thomas Dahlia. Dahlia and Bray, the seniors. Clavery, a freshman. And you hear there 153.51, just 1700ths off of Zachary Stevens' record for the meet last year. Just about 3 or 4 tenths off of the Holderness's conference record. We'll see what Dahlia does at the NCAA championships next month that he has been invited to.
Louisville, and more Louisville as they are looking comfortable in second place right now. Doing a great job at the 2015 ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. They're now at 1,079 points, just behind NC State. All right, your final individual race here as part of the 2015 ACC Swimming and Diving Championships is the men's 200-yard butterfly. And let's get you set with the lane assignments of the C final here, the 200-yard fly. In lane 2 is John Learley, a senior from Pitt. In lane 3, it's John Denning, a freshman from the University of Virginia. In lane 3, you see him right there, Tyler Hill from the University of North Carolina. In lane 5, Ben Southern, a sophomore from Georgia Tech. It's Kenny Nugg, a junior from Duke University in lane 6. William DeForest, a junior from North Carolina in lane 7. Kazuma Takabayashi, a sophomore from Duke in lane 8. Sean Reinhart, a senior from Pitt in lane 9.
So we talk about the big 4 schools that have been separating themselves from the rest of the field here in the ACC Championships: NC State, Louisville, Virginia Tech, North Carolina. This really is not a big event for those 4 schools. It's a more even field here. Duke, Notre Dame, Florida State, Virginia also getting multiple swimmers here in the top 24. And we keep that in mind here. As Dean mentioned the scores, there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity for moving from here on out. Just 2 events left. This is the last individual event. We got to put the diving in, but then there is that relay.
Kenny Ung, lane 6 for Duke University, had a 1:46.71, the best time though, coming from Ben Southern, the sophomore from Georgia Tech, with a 1:46.62.
Take your mark.
C final, men's 200-yard butterfly in the water.
Little over 2 seconds separating this field. Look for Tyler Hill of North Carolina. Set the pace early this morning, 23.85 after the first 50. Strong underwater kicks there by Duke's Ing. And it is going to be Ing that touches first, 23.71. 50 yards down. There's Tyler Hill, North Carolina, 24.15. Breathing every stroke. Conserving that oxygen throughout this, as many consider one of the most challenging events in the swimming curriculum. 100 yards in 50.97 was the time this morning. 50.86 by John Denning of UVA in lane number 3. Field still relatively close there. You see Ing just a little bit ahead of Georgia Tech Southern. Strong underwater. Ing continues to stay down the longest. Breathing every stroke. There's the Virginia swimmer. John Denning, third place there, but it looks like it's going to be Ing and Southern battling it out here the last 40 yards. Ing's shoulders starting to get to him a little bit. You see his stroke shortening. He's fading now as Ben Southern from Georgia Tech pushes. Also North Carolina's Tyler Hill, but it is going to be Ben Southern from Georgia Tech touching first in this heat. 146.42, splitting a 27.8 there, the last 50.
Tyler Hill from North Carolina finishing in second, and William DeForest also from North Carolina finishing in third. As you mentioned, Kenny Young from Duke fading all the way to fifth there in the final 40 yards.
Yeah, he goes out fast, and sometimes it's just hard to keep on there with that short axis stroke, keeping your hips up. His shoulders just started to get heavy.
Duke Blue Devils, though, with a 4th and 5th place finish with Takabayashi and Ung. But it's the North Carolina Tar Heels following up Ben Southern from Georgia Tech. Well done, Ben Southern, getting us started here in the C final, the men's 200-yard butterfly. Now we'll get you set for the B final of the 200-yard fly and break down your lane assignments. Best time this morning coming from lane 4, Nico Van Duyn with a 145.07. But here are your lane assignments for the B final. In lane 2, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, Christopher Grimmett Norris. In lane 3, a sophomore from Notre Dame, Kevin Bradley. In lane 4, Mark Sarman, a senior from Georgia Tech. Another senior from Georgia Tech, as we mentioned, Nico Van Duyn in lane 5. It's Michael Miller, the sophomore from Duke, in lane 6. David Boland, a sophomore from Louisville, lane 7. Another sophomore, this one from Virginia, in lane 8 is Zach Bunner. And Martin Vogel, lane 9, a junior from Pitt. Those are your swimmers. B final, 200-yard butterfly.
145.0 to 146.4, just about 1.4 seconds separating here. And a different swimmer having the fastest 50 throughout this pace. David Boland went out fastest. Then we saw Michael Miller make a move, Mark Sarman, and then Nico Van Duyn coming home strongest. Strong underwater kicks there by all 8 of the swimmers coming into the first 50. Again, it was David Boland, 23.4. It's Nico Van Duyn this time, 23.1.
Stay with us. After this event, during the intermission, we will bring you some interviews. We'll also take a look at Dominic Giordano winning the platform in the diving for Pittsburgh. Stay with us right here on ESPN 3 before we bring you the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Now Zach Bunner from Virginia, lane number 8, splitting a 26.4. He touches at a 49.7 with 100 yards to go. We're going to see Nico Van Duyn making his move now. A little bit of an abnormal stroke. Hadn't seen the side breathing since really Mel Stewart days. Staying low in the water, keeping that head nice and steady. He's able to see his competition to the left. And he needs to see that competition. Martin Vogel actually down in lane number 9 with the lead. Looking very strong. Touching for home, it's going to be Van Duyn and Vogel that are going to battle it out. Van Duyn not able to see him now. Here comes lane number 6 actually. Michael Miller for Duke's going to actually challenge him. Right to the finish, and it is Michael Miller that touches him out by 14/100ths of a second, 144.77. A strong 27.0 split on that last 50 to give him the championship in this heat.
What a final finish there by Michael Miller, as finishing in second is Nico Van Duyn from Georgia Tech. And in third, Mark Sarman, also from Georgia Tech. But what a great finish, though, for the Duke Blue Devils.
Michael Miller, 27.0 coming home. good 0.6 faster than he came home this morning. He actually went out pretty fast this morning, may have faded some, so a little bit of a different strategy there for the Blue Devil. It paid off there as he moves up just one spot, getting 9th place for Duke.
Congratulations to Micah Miller as we get ready to present to you with the music blaring the finalists for the A final of the 200 fly. NC State with 2 swimmers, Florida State with 2 as well, and Louisville also represented here in the 200 fly. A lot of eyes going to be on Christian McCurdy in the middle, along with Morgan Latimer from Virginia Tech. Let's break down the lane assignments for you, though, for the A final of the 200 fly. In lane 2, John Newell from NC State, the 2nd fastest time in school history. He's a senior. In lane 3, Jonathan Williamson from Notre Dame, a senior from Bloomington, Illinois, a qualifier a year ago. Lane 4, Morgan Latimer, Virginia Tech, a senior from Richmond, Virginia, and he is the school record holder. In lane 5, Christian McCurdy, NC State, a junior from Irwin, PA, first in the 2014 ACCs. In lane 6, Connor Knight, Florida State senior, owns the fastest time in the ACC this year. In lane 7, Ben Colley, North Carolina junior. In lane 8 is Cole Hensley, a junior from Florida State. And in lane 9, Josh Quallen from Louisville. He's a sophomore from Wilmington, Ohio. And there is Christian McCurdy, won this event a year ago.
Yeah, he set the record there, 141.72, as you saw. Earlier this weekend, he got 2nd in the 400 IM, 4th in the 200 IM, so we know he can do all 4 strokes. Butterfly certainly his specialty. Look for him to go out strong and finish well. He won this event last year for NC State, the first title they've had in this event since 1978. An event that NC State has actually won 16 times, so look for McCurdy to try and repeat for the first time since Tom Luxinger did it from North Carolina.
Great atmosphere here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center as the swimmers still being introduced by the public address announcer.
Connor Knight there, the senior from Florida State. He was 2nd in the 100 fly, so you know that he's going to go out fast.
Take your mark.
Into the water, the A final here, the 200 fly.
There's Knight getting to the wall first. He split a 22.52 this morning, the first 50. Connor Knight certainly showing his speed there coming in. 22.34 in the middle of your pool. Strong underwater fly kicks again. He's breathing every stroke. Morgan Latimer, Ben Colley started to make their move here this morning. McCurdy holding on there, not letting Knight get too far in front. There you see Colley as well, 100 yards in, 48.31 by Connor Knight. But look for McCurdy to start turning it on here. Knight starting to fade here. We see Colley coming up. It's an even turn there with 75 yards to go. Oftentimes you can tell how fatigued the swimmers are by how quickly they pop up from that butterfly kick. Colley up first here, 50 yards to go. Still even, 26-point mids.
What a great race here, Warren.
114.6. Connor Knight still has a little bit of energy there, 25 yards to go. How heavy are those shoulders here? McCurdy trying to defend his title, staying underwater. Strong kick by Connor Knight.
And Knight with the lead. It'll be Knight down the stretch. Knight touches first, then McCurdy, followed by Colley, finishing in third. And Colley just ahead of Morgan Latimer. That'll be big because North Carolina just behind Virginia Tech.
And 141.66, Connor Knight breaking the ACC meet and conference record set by McCurdy last year. Here we see Connor Knight digging down the final turn for home. McCurdy and Knight even there. Here's the underwater kick. They pop up. Connor Knight actually a little bit ahead, looking really strong. He went out hard and he held on, putting his head down the last two strokes, turning and seeing a record-breaking performance there for the Seminoles. 141.66.
Earlier we showed you the Florida State swimmers, and now they have something to celebrate. Well done by Connor Knight. Big time performance. McCurdy from NC State won it a year ago. He'll finish second this time. And then Ben Colley from North Carolina. Big points for Rich DeSalm and the Tar Heels.
You guys see those guys really excited for Florida State.
We'll come back and we will hand out the gold, silver, and bronze for the 200 fly. It's the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving Championships on ESPN 3. Big night here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. Championship Saturday at the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. North Carolina State Wolfpack came out strong on Wednesday, and they're finishing the job here with the Florida State Seminoles actually winning the 200 fly. A great performance by Connor Knight. Look at Braden Holloway, 5-time All-American, back at his alma mater now in his 4th season. They finished second a year ago, did NC State, but got to give Florida State some love after that performance from Connor Knight, the senior from Juno Beach, Florida. He owns the fastest time in the ACC this year, so it's only fitting he'd come up with a big-time performance to win the 200 fly. Presenting the hardware for the 200 fly is Steve Gregg from NC State. He was actually the 200 fly silver medalist at the 76 Olympics, 2-time silver medalist at the 73 and 78 World Championships. And he will be handing the silver to fellow NC State Wolfpack member Christian McCurdy. Coming in 3rd place, though, here on the 200 fly, the last individual event of the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships, is Ben Colley, the junior. He's from Williamsburg, Virginia. Top 10 in 3 different events in Carolina history. As they're talking right now about Steve Gregg, silver medalist in the 1976 Olympics. Ben Colley taking home the bronze in the 200 butterfly. And now Steve Craig, who you know knows Christian McCurdy well, the junior from Irwin, PA. Finishing first a year ago, but second this time around is Christian McCurdy. McCurdy with a hand for Ben Colley, as McCurdy will take home the silver this year. And it's Connor Knight, the senior from Florida State, taking home the 32 points for Florida State with an impressive 141.66, a new conference and meet record for Connor Knight. Congratulations to the Florida State Seminoles and their fans and family here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, absolutely loving it. We're going to go to break. Stay with us, though. Come back here in a few minutes. We're going to have a lot of fun at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. NC State Wolfpack rolling along. Having fun here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center in Atlanta, Georgia, home to the 2015 ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. And you see the NC State Wolfpack fans in the middle of the screen. They're having the most fun as NC State in a comfortable first place lead here, followed by Louisville, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina. Of course, last week, as part of the Women's Swimming and Diving Championships, we actually had the men's diving competition. It was won by Virginia Tech, but perhaps the most entertaining figure was Pitt's Dominic Giordano. Let's take a look back at his performance, the good and the bad. Last week during the men's diving competition here in Atlanta, Pittsburgh diver Dominic Giordano captured our hearts and our imaginations. Falling out of that dive in the 3-meter, he would have another collapse just a couple dives later. He would get out of the water, though, in Dominic Giordano style with a smile, saying, "I can't do it, but I can do it on the platform." His 4th dive was spectacular, but trust me, folks, his 5th dive was brilliant with 4 perfect 10s, hands in the air. It was a first place gold medal finish for Dominic Giordano. He is an entertainer. He has a personality, and our own John Wilkerson caught up with him after the diving competition.
It was not my night at all. Prelims went okay, and then got into finals, started off strong, and then just, nerves got to the best of me. I'm not sure. It happens to the best of us, I guess. I think the Florida State coach said sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield, and I was definitely the bug. Everything happens for a reason, and it wasn't my night. Once you get the first dive off, it's just, the nerves settle, start getting into your rhythm and stuff. Unfortunately, I would have liked a little bit better rhythm throughout the finals, so it wasn't so much pressure, but yeah, it was good.
Talk about that final dive, knowing when you had to nail one, you were able to do it in a big way.
Yeah, that's my favorite dive. It's always been one of my best dives, and you just kind of get up there, and I said, be still, and big jump, and I just kind of let my body take over, definitely. I freaked out because that's my best score on that dive, and I didn't know what to do. I was kind of out of my body at that point.
So much fun, Dominic Giordano. You take a look at there. J.B. Collard from Virginia. He thought he had the gold medal, but those 4.10s able to pass J.B. Collard. And Pitt would end up with 91 points as Dominic earning 32 of them right there. Virginia Tech would run away with the diving title with 247 points. The Tar Heels would have 194. Virginia 144. Then it would be Florida State with 120. Miami with 105. Pitt with 91. Remember, North Carolina State with no divers. I also want to thank Leslie Hasselbach-Adams, the Clemson women's diving coach, for breaking down diving with us a week ago, as well as J.B. Collard, who not only was an outstanding diver, helped us up here in the booth breaking down women's diving, but a great story well done by John Wilkerson as well. We're going to go to break, come back with some interviews here from the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. NC State with a comfortable lead.
Straight to you after him, okay? Same thing, you're talking to me. Okay?
Welcome back to the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center here in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. We are in intermission, getting ready for our final event, the 400-yard freestyle relay as well. And Warren Perry is standing by with Louisville's fine head coach Arthur Albiero.
Thanks so much, Dean. Here I am with Arthur Albiero, his 12th season here at Louisville. First year here in the ACC. Just wanted to get a couple of reactions as you come in. You had a great season, got to see Florida State and North Carolina competition. What's your reactions here to the first conference for Louisville Cardinals?
Oh, we love it. It's been a great honor to be part of this conference. The competition level is fantastic. So we're glad to be here to hopefully add a little bit to the competition level, and I think our guys have really stepped up all weekend.
And so we talk about how Louisville has done all season. You guys actually ranked in the top 5 for the dual meet season, dominating most of your competition. We talked about beating Florida State and North Carolina, also the big names of Auburn and Tennessee. Coming into the conference championship, what's your strategy as you prepare for conference versus NCAAs?
Oh, the philosophy of our program has been one to be at our best at NCAAs, but we don't overlook by no means the ACC especially. So we came ready to fight, knowing that this is the opportunity to qualify our guys and get everybody ready to NCAAs. So this is a fantastic opportunity to rehearse a lot of things here to hopefully get us ready to be at our very best there.
Arthur, thank you so much for your time here. Good luck on your last relay and the rest of the time here in the ACC. All right, Dean, we're going to move on here to Hennessy Stewart, freshman here for NC State. Had a great evening tonight. Broke a record and took a conference title home in the 200 backstroke. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about the energy level here for NC State. Obviously, your first time at a conference championship. How has it been feeling the pack support in the stands and on the pool deck?
Well, it's been amazing because we have such a strong alumni here with us, especially since we're in Atlanta and not in North Carolina. And it's been really helpful because the girls were here last week, and so they had like a test run with the coaches to see how the energy would be in this big facility. And so what we did was we knew we had to create our own energy here on the pool deck, and that's what we did. And we took it session by session by session, really set the momentum, carry it through each evening, and I think we did a very good job with it.
I agree with that. You guys have had a stellar weekend and a stellar night tonight. Talk about your confidence now as you come in. Braden Holloway's training really took you guys to the next level over the past couple seasons. And you had a great swim this morning, the 200 backstroke. What kind of confidence did you have did you could come back tonight and do the same thing and even break your record again?
Well, Braden and the coaching staff at NC State are very intense, and they talk about we swim fast every day. And so the training I did this year was, like you said, took me to the next level. And I had the confidence that every day I did what I needed to do in practice for me to accomplish what I just did in the pool. And to do it in the morning and then go faster at night, it's a huge confidence booster, because I always like swimming fast in the morning, because you never know which race is going to be your fastest. And so usually sometimes I do swim slower at night, but tonight was a very special night. I had the team carrying me, and I really was excited to set the tone and have finished what Anton started with the mile and carry it through the session.
Yeah, you certainly did a great job here, Hennessy. Congratulations to you and your Wolfpack. You got one more relay in you. We'll see what you can do. Dean, thanks you for Arthur Albiero as well as Hennessy Stewart. Let's go back to you.
Great job, Warren Perry. Love hearing from the young freshman Stewart. He was so great this morning. He mentioned after that swim, he was actually throwing up. Braden Holloway came over to him and said, "At least I know you're trying." And boy, did he try even harder again. We'll come back with more here from the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. The NC State Wolfpack rolling along. They'll win it. Still at intermission here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center before we bring you the 400-yard freestyle relay, the final event as part of our 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. But it's been an impressive 4 days for the North Carolina State Wolfpack. And make no mistake, five-time All-American Braden Holloway, now in his fourth season as head coach of NC State, has left no stone unturned in his recruiting for the Wolfpack, including going over to Denmark. Matt Curry from GoPack.com has the story of the NC State Wolfpack's Great Danes.
Now, recruiting international student athletes has been a staple of well-rounded college teams. It is rare, however, to get three standout performers from the same country within nearly a year's time. For NC State men's swimming and diving, three Danish national team members, or Great Danes as they are called at home, committed to Braden Holloway's vision of bringing the Wolfpack back to national prominence.
All the clubs we come from in Denmark are good competitive clubs, and that's why we all become good swimmers, because we had the good coaches, the right coaches, and the right space to do or fulfill our talents.
16 was my breakthrough in Denmark when I won my first Danish championships, and becoming Danish champion was what got the attention from the coaches here and started the process of me getting to NC State.
My old swimming mates from my club team, they swam at various universities here in the States, and they were like, hey, the collegiate sports are awesome. And I put my swim times up on collegeswimming.com, and through that I was connected to Braden Holloway.
Dre came first, and then that kind of opened the door a little bit to some of his countrymen, teammates. You know, he knew Soren fairly well. They also, both of them knew Anton. So it was kind of once you got one, and Dre had a great experience at the beginning, it kind of made things easier to kind of explain the process to the other two, and I have all three of them.
Once Soren, Anton, and Andreas arrived at NC State, they agreed that having a supportive team as well as each other made a real difference in adjusting to a new lifestyle.
As soon as I came, everyone was so friendly to me, becoming or being a part of the family here.
You are in some way isolated as soon as you get here. So they tried to be very helpful, very friendly, tried to establish a friendly connection as soon as I got here, and that helped my transition to be a lot easier.
That continuous support has been a major source of motivation to work with the staff to get better individually so the team can succeed at the national level.
They cover a lot of events for us, and I think it's kind of good for them because they each kind of have their own niche within our structure of the team to where they really help out and contribute.
They had a different approach to training as compared to what I've been used to, and a big expertise for the events that I'm swimming. And they're very energetic and really motivating.
That motivation has translated into early success, but all three have one moment so far that tops the rest.
The biggest accomplishment I've had while I've been here was the swim meet when we were at ACCs, because everyone stepped up and did their best and everyone was swimming lights out, and it was awesome and amazing. And I had only been here for 2 months at that time, but I still felt like I was part of everything that was going on.
My first swim at the ACC Championships, I was leading off the 200 medley relay, which went on to win the ACC Championships and break the ACC record.
Even with the current success the team is garnering, Soren, Anton, and Andreas know it is only the first step in regaining national prominence. But each agrees they want the Great Danes to be remembered as a major part of that future feat.
I don't know like what I want to be remembered by. Maybe as the Great Danes. That would be cool.
It's very funny that we have been called the Great Danes here. And that means something for us because that binds us together.
I think I want to be remembered for being part of the Great Danes that came to NC State and won all the ACC titles and won all the NC2A titles and stuff like that. I think that's the main goal.
We have set so high goals for this program and incoming in the next 2 years. And that's why I really look forward coming to ACC and NC2As to prove my worth.
I think they're all capable of winning the ACC championship title this year. I think they're all capable of being in a running for an NCAA title. It's nice that the three of them have each other, and we love that they're the Great Danes over at NC State.
Great job, Matt Curry. I want to thank GoPack.com for that outstanding piece, whether it's Denmark, Lithuania, Denver, Colorado, NC State, getting it done on the recruiting circle. We are going to take a break at 8:06. We'll have the 400-yard freestyle relay. That's 8:06 for the 400-yard freestyle relay. We're going to take a break and come back to wrap it up here and crown a champion. For sure, it's going to be NC State. So much fun right here on ESPN3. Be back at 8:06 for the 400-yard freestyle relay. Welcome back to the beautiful Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center as we get you set with the scores here. NC State with just one more event, leading it with 12:67, followed by Louisville with 11:26. Hello, everybody. Dean Linke, along with former Tar Heel swimmer Warren Perry and Braden Holloway, set the tone on Wednesday, and the NC State Wolfpack, they've simply delivered.
They won the first 3 out of 5 events in the first 2 days, and they've won 3 out of the 5 events tonight. NC State looking very good, very poised, entering in this final relay. Very strong, setting themselves up, actually, to take all 8 of the freestyle events. 5 of the individual events, 3 of the relays. Has not happened since 2002 when University of Virginia did it.
And they do it without a diver as well, so taking it home. And, of course, the relays, NC State's so good, you expect them to win this final event.
I do. I look at the seeds here. They're technically seeded second behind Louisville, but I think they've got such depth when it comes to the freestyle events. We saw Simonis Billis win this event earlier, and they had 2 other NC State swimmers in the top 8. I fully look for them to get out in front from the beginning and finish it off, winning this title with a win the last event.
Great interview with Louisville coach Albiero as well for Louisville, and we saw the piece last year for Ned Skinner. Ironically, it's Louisville and Virginia Tech looking at second and third, with North Carolina trying to track them down. So here we go, folks. The men's 400-yard freestyle relay, the last event in what has been 4 spectacular days, including 3 days of coverage right here on ESPN3. It's the 400-yard freestyle relay, one of 2 time finals. In the first one, it's Boston College in lane 4, Duke in lane 5, Notre Dame in lane 6. I'll tell you the swimmers when they get in the water.
Take your mark.
Leading off for Boston College in lane 4 is Nicholas Hens. For Duke, it's Stephen Knight. For Notre Dame, it's Justin Plashka. Here are the rest of the swimmers for Boston College. It's Hens, Dan Kelly, Johnny Moores, and Anthony Richardson. Your swimmers for Duke, along with Knight, David Armstrong, Michael Miller, and James Peak. And for Notre Dame, along with Plashka, it's Zachary Stevens, Trent Jackson, and Reed Puhan.
20.70, Justin Plashka, first 50, a good body length lead over Stephen Knight there from Duke in lane number 5. 16 lengths to the pool altogether, 4 for each swimmer. Conference and meet record set by North Carolina State. We'll see them in the next heat right now. Justin Plashka continuing to give Notre Dame a lead in the first heat. 22.84 split, 43.5 for his 100 free. In the water now, Zachary Stevens. We saw him earlier in the breaststroke for Notre Dame. David Armstrong in for Duke. Dan Kelly for Boston College. Zachary Stevens now about a body length and a half lead over Duke University. David Armstrong. Nice underwater butterfly kicks there by Stevens. Every stroke coming in. The flag's a little bit of a slow start there for Trent Jackson, but he's in the water with a commanding lead. 22.9 there, the last 50 there for Zach Stevens. Trent Jackson in for Notre Dame. Michael Miller, Duke University. Strong kick there by Trent Jackson. Tight turn there, good underwater butterfly kicks. High kick there, breathing every stroke. His arms are looking strong, but his legs there propelling him very nicely. 25 yards to go, Trent Jackson. Notre Dame still in charge. Waiting just a little bit there, Michael Miller inching up to about a body length behind as Reed Fujan and James Peak dive in. Notre Dame, Duke, respectively. Anthony Richardson in for Boston College. James Peak wasting no time there, charging through the long windmill freestyle stroke that we don't see as much anymore. Above the water, underneath the water, the swimmers have straighter arms, but look at him moving up against the lane line, drafting over Fujan there, breathing, seeing him, trying to reel him in. Fujan doing everything he can with the butterfly kicks on his last turn, coming for home. Neither of them are looking at each other. But here comes James Peak. Is he going to have what it takes?
Wow.
No, Notre Dame's going to hold on there. 2:56.03, just 11/100ths of a second faster than Duke University. James Peak reeling him in, doing everything he could there for the Blue Devils, with Notre Dame holding on in this first heat of the 400 freestyle relay.
Fantastic finish, though, as Peak challenging Reed right down to the finish. But Notre Dame will win the first of two heat finals as we get you set now for the second of two time finals and our final event here as part of the 2015 Men's ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. And all eyes will be on lane 5 of Louisville. Take a look at this finish right here, though, Warren.
James Peak on top, Reed Fujan down below. Last stroke, Fujan extends it down in, holding on there for Notre Dame. Solid swim there in the first heat for the Irish.
So here we go, the final event, the second of two time finals. And here are your lane assignments. In lane 2, University of Virginia with Matthew Lockman, Nicholas Magana, Austin Quinn, and Adam Whitener. Lane 3, Virginia Tech, Owen Burns, Lucas Bureau, Brandon Fiala, and CJ Fiala. Lane 4, Georgia Tech, Yusuf Hamoud, Noah Haraz, Nico Van Doon, and Andrew Kosick. Lane 5, Louisville with Matthias Lindenbauer, Thomas Dahlia, Rudy Edelin, and Trevor Carroll. Lane 6, NC State, Ryan Held, Simona Spillis, Soren Dahl, and David Williams. The swimmers in the water, it's lane 7, University of North Carolina, Sam Lewis, Nick Grasser, Logan Heck, and Ben Colley. Florida State, lane 8, Cadell Lyons, Connor Knight, Kevin Rogers, and Jason McCormick. And Warren in lane 9, it's Pitt with Sean Hayden, Avery Warrington, Hayden Callaghan, and John Learley.
NC State coming into this event having won in 2013 and 2014, reasserting themselves as a dominant force in this event, having won 25 times since its inception in 1955. As we talked about at the beginning of this event, NC State's going to get out in front on the back of Ryan Held, the freshman there for NC State. It's about a half a body length lead over Virginia Tech swimmer Owen Burns up there in lane number 3. Good start there. Simona Spillis, the 100 freestyle champion, immediately extends that lead to a full body length. Strong swimming, very efficient. Looks so easy to him there, right out in front. Look at him. Strong kick, strong arms, breathing every stroke to the left. Very efficient turn there. 19.59 split there on 100 freestyle.
NC State looking impressive behind Simona Spillis.
Already did 4 links tonight, broke the conference record, champion in the 100 freestyle. Look at now, 2 body lengths lead over the rest of the field for NC State. We're going to watch Soren Dahl go in there for the Wolfpack. How much more of a lead can they build? We see North Carolina, lane number 7, followed closely by Louisville. There's NC State swimmer against Soren Dahl, sophomore. Look at that lead there for a 400 freestyle relay, a commanding distance over North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Louisville.
And the Great Dane Soren Dahl, what a capper to the evening it would be if NC State could take home yet another event.
Dahl going to turn it over to senior David Williams. Been there for the whole transformation of Braden Holloway's program in Raleigh. Looking very strong. NC State looks to win the 400 freestyle relay. On the back of David Williams, he's turning his head to the right to breathe, sees those jumping Wolfpack swimmers on the pool deck. He's got to be excited. 50 yards to go. One more lap. David Williams, very strong kick there. Split a 19.81 on that first 50. He is feeling the emotion of the Wolfpack bringing him home.
Unbelievable 4 days for NC State. And it's only fitting that the Wolfpack would win the 400-yard freestyle relay, followed by North Carolina and Georgia Tech in third. It's Louisville in fourth, which is so important as they finish ahead of Virginia Tech, which should lock up their second-place finish as well. We'll see where North Carolina and Virginia Tech end up. But the NC State Wolfpack, your winners here, and your 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Champions.
NC State yet again breaking another conference record here. 2:48.92, half a second ahead of their record set this meet last year, actually at NCAA's last year. Quite a way to go out and bring the championship back to Raleigh.
Make no mistake, it's time to celebrate if you are an NC State Wolfpack, their first ACC title since 1992. And Williams at the finish just only extended that lead.
He had such clean water, a number of body lengths lead. He knew he was going to win it. It was just a matter of what kind of split he could finish. And he did well to bring it home. Who knows if they had known the champion or the conference record was within grasp, and he held on and gave him that record. Yet again, all 8 events in the freestyle going to NC State. 5 individual events and 3 relays. Has not happened since Virginia did it in 2002.
Congratulations to the NC State Wolfpack. They win the 400-yard freestyle relay, and they win the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Championships. We'll hand out the hardware when we come back. The Wolfpack Nation loving it here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center in Atlanta, Georgia. They've headed south to be here in Atlanta, and they've enjoyed every moment of it, including the finish here on the 400-yard freestyle relay. And indeed, they are celebrating Wolfpack style. Braden Holloway and his fine coaching staff, congratulations to NC State as we get set to hand out the bronze, silver, and gold for our last event, the 400 free relay. And it's only fitting that Michelle Lee, who is the chair of the ACC Swimming Championship Committee from NC State, along with Wendy Myers, the vice chair of the ACC Swim and Dive Committee, will help hand out the awards. Of course, Michelle Lee from NC State. The North Carolina Tar Heels, though, taking home the bronze in this last event, the 400 free relay. The North Carolina Tar Heels. There's the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets actually finishing in third place, taking home the bronze medal. There's Michelle Lee from NC State. Congratulations to the host, Georgia Tech. And indeed, in second with the silver medal, North Carolina Tar Heels. Rich DeSelm and the Tar Heel faithful loving it. Breaking down the team for Georgia Tech is Yusuf Hamoud, Nora Haraz, Nico Van Doon, and Andrew Kosick. The team for the North Carolina Tar Heels, Sam Lewis, Nick Grasser, Logan Heck, and Ben Colley. And with the new meet and conference record, the NC State Wolfpack with their team of Ryan Held, a freshman, Simonis Billis, the junior, Soren Dahl, the sophomore, and David Williams, the senior, will take home the gold. An ACC record right there of 2:48.92. The comatose giant is awake. They were awake last year as well, almost knocking off Virginia Tech, but their first ACC title since 1992. Congratulations to the NC State Wolfpack. And with that final event, NC State 13-31, finishing in first place. The music continued to blare here at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center. My broadcast partner Warren Perry down on the deck, hoping to get some interviews with the head coach. There you see it. NC State will be taking that back to Raleigh. When we come back, we'll hand out that trophy and name the most valuable swimmer as well, right here on ESPN3. NC State, your winner. And how about the NC State Wolfpack men's swimming and diving team, your 2015 ACC swimming and diving champions, five-time All-American, now in his fourth year as head coach, Braden Holloway. And he is standing by with my broadcast partner, Warren Perry.
Thanks so much, Dean. Here we are with Braden Holloway. We hung out on Thursday. I asked you what it was going to take to bring the championship back to Raleigh for the first time since 1992. Here we are on Saturday evening. You won the championship. What was the key?
Well, we came in with 18 guys, and we knew where we would get some big points from some of our studs, and we knew for us to have a chance to do it, everyone had to have a role, and we leave here today, and everyone had a role. Everyone found a way to help this team, and at the end of the day, it all came together, so team effort.
Yeah, congratulations. So we look ahead now. The conference season's behind us. We're going to the national championship next month. What can we expect from NC State?
Fast. Very fast. No. Back to work. We got a lot of things that... we hope to capitalize on our opportunities there. We're going to have some good opportunities to score a lot of points, and it's going to be the same thing. We got to have a good team effort and try and climb that ladder.
Well, congratulations, Braden. Make the ACC proud at NCAA's next month. Going to go back to you now, Dean.
All right, Warren Perry, you got to love live television. The Gatorade dump on Braden Holloway as well. You take a look at the team scores. You see Duke, Pitt, BC, and Miami rounding it out. NC State, though, winning it. Congratulations, though, to Coach Albiero from Louisville for finishing in second with 1178. Ned Skinner's Virginia Tech team finishing in third with 1123. Good effort as well from North Carolina. Notre Dame in fifth, and your host, Georgia Tech, finishing in sixth. Our most valuable swimmer, also from NC State, is Simonis Billis, and he's standing by with Warren Perry.
Thanks so much, Dean. Good to be back on deck. This time with junior Simi Billis here. Junior from NC State won 3 titles this weekend, 2 in record form, 50, 100, and 200 freestyle. How does it feel? Was there one point in the weekend when you and the Wolfpack realized that a championship was within grasp?
It was. At the beginning, of course, we believed that we can win. And after the first day, after the first prelims, when we got all those finals, we just were happy. And we knew that if we keep on doing that, we can get it.
Well, Simi, you certainly had a great week. When we look back to the last time NC State won the title in 1992, I don't even know if you were alive. So last year you guys finished in second place. How does it feel to finally put the Wolfpack over the top here and win the championship?
It feels amazing. Of course, we don't have a trophy yet, but I can't even say the words. It's just, I'm so proud of all of them. Everyone contributed, and it feels just amazing.
Well, congratulations to you, Simi, and your Wolfpack. Dean, we're going to go back to you, and we'll wrap this championship up in NC State form.
Raw emotion for Simonas Bilis from Lithuania. You gotta love it. Can't even put it into words. He wants that trophy in his hands, and he wants to get the coach, all of the coaches, in fact, in the pool here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. I want to thank Georgia Tech for being an outstanding host. I want to thank the great folks from the ACC, Donald Moore, and other great championships, Scott McBurney, Brandon Neff, Jonathan Cole, George Lane, Jenna Smoot, everybody from the ACC has been awesome as they're announcing the most valuable diver that was presented last week from the University of Miami, Mr. Herrera, the young freshman, getting it done. He's actually in Miami right now training for the NCAAs. He's the men's most valuable diver, and we already know who it is as we just talked to Simonas Bilis, the most valuable swimmer from NC State by way of Lithuania, and Michelle Lee, part of the ACC Championship Committee and also from NC State, will present it to Simonas Bilis, your most valuable swimmer. Now they'll break down the team scores. Miami finishing in 12th, within Boston College next at 11th. Just the NC State Wolfpack looking on. And 10th was Pittsburgh. Duke University finishing in 9th. A couple solid performances from the Duke Blue Devils. In 8th, the Virginia Cavaliers. Augie Bush will have Virginia back in the running. Second-year coach from Virginia. He's won it twice with the women. How about the Florida State Seminoles? And then 6th place, Georgia Tech, with an impressive performance here at the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. In 5th place, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, with quite a few swimmers still back in South Bend. 4th place, just missing out on a medal, is Rich DeSelm's North Carolina Tar Heels, as Warren Perry now joins me in the booth. Great work down there, Warren, as we get ready to crown 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Another great performance from Virginia Tech coming in 3rd place.
Yeah, we respect the heck out of Ned Skinner. He's done such a great job there in Blacksburg, bringing the Virginia Tech program up to prominence. Really got to give your caps off to him and his Hokie team, his Hokie staff, for a great performance this weekend too.
And here it is, Simonas Bilis. He wanted that trophy, and now it'll come up to the NC State Wolfpack. Again, I want to thank from the ACC, Donald Moore, Scott McBurney, Brandon Neff, Jonathan Cole, George Lane, Jenna Smoot. From the ACC Championship Committee, Michelle Lee, NC State, Wendy Myers-Pitt, Donald Moser from Duke. Our runner, Adam Prather's done a great job, as well as Chris Yanko from Georgia Tech. Our producer here the entire weekend has been John Wilkerson. The crew of Scott Hicken has been fantastic, and as NC State holds the hardware, Warren Perry, you gotta love it.
Yeah, congratulations to Braden. It's been so fun seeing him transform that program at NC State. He used to be an assistant coach at Virginia Tech, and he swam at NC State even before that. So really hats off to him. He's got to be feeling great. One thing I told him there at the interview, he had so much emotion all weekend. He and his staff jumping up and down all over the deck, and he was so calm there when I was talking to him. Just such a business approach. He did what he came in here to do, and he and his team now have a right to celebrate.
There it is, NC State, your 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Champions.
That title, that trophy, been in the state of Virginia since 1999. It comes back to Raleigh with the NC State Wolfpack.
And you You know, they're just moments away from jumping in the pool. The coaches, the staff, the trainers, the massage therapists, everybody's going in, Warren.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling for any program to be able to jump in the water at the end of any championship, whether it's your conference or NCAA's. Almost a rite of passage there. Braden getting dumped with the Gatorade. I've got a little bit of a residue on my coat as well. And now they're going to douse them with chlorinated water too.
Donald Moore from the ACC running another great championship, handing out the trophies, and the Wolfpack Nation representing. I'll tell you, the fans have been great. The fans from all the schools have been great these 4 days here in Atlanta. Some questionable weather early on, and they got through it. And now the sun is shining down on NC State. Are they going in the water, Warren Perry?
Oh, they're waiting. That's a great sign of sportsmanship between two excellent programs. Virginia Tech, NC State, everyone here in the ACC shows such discipline throughout the season. They work so hard and are so aggressive with each other throughout the weekend. But when everything's over, it's just a big brotherhood. And once you're a part of ACC swimming, you're always a part of it. It's a privilege for me to have been a swimmer at University of North Carolina, and you always stay in touch with your staff, your coaches, your teammates. The NC State Wolfpack here will remember this championship their entire lives.
Braden Holloway and his outstanding coaching staff. It's great to hear, particularly Hennessy Stewart, talk about how they brought the energy, Wolfpack Nation bringing the energy, creating some of their own energy to continue to push through.
Yeah, really, I talked to a number of my friends that I swam against back in the early 2000s. They made the drive today to get down to Atlanta to celebrate with not only the current NC State crew, their parents, but also their alumni, their former teammates. It's one big family, and the NC State Wolfpack supporters were so loud all weekend, and really starts with Braden Holloway and his philosophy. He just got them going.
First title since 1992, but they have won quite a few ACC championships, now 25 since 1954.
It's incredible. Closest next, North Carolina, 18. Last time they won, 1998. And since we've been holding this conference championship meet, NC State has won 19 of them, now 20.
Congratulations also to Louisville, finishing in second place. Virginia Tech in third. Your Tar Heels just outside of the medal with a fourth place finish. Great sportsmanship, as you talked about, Warren Perry. NC State going through the line, getting congratulations from every single team. And then Warren Perry, they'll be pool bound.
Of course, as we make the rounds here, all the teams congratulating themselves, a good sign of respect. And really, we talk about all the different teams and the programs, and the ACC has expanded over the past couple years to include such talented swimmers and such talented coaching staff. They've really done a great job, and I look forward to many more years of fast swimming to come.
So for our entire crew, including John Wilkerson, our producer, my broadcast partner is Warren Perry. I'm Dean Linke, once again from the Georgia Tech CRC Aquatic Center. The North Carolina State Wolfpack are your 2015 ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Champions. And guess what, folks? You saw it all right here on ESPN3. Congratulations to NC State.